by making him wear an "I'm a Bully" t-shirt to school.
A mom from Splendora, who goes by the name Star, tells local media she came up with the idea after discovering her fifth grader was calling other boys stupid and idiots. She shared a photo of the child in the shirt on Facebook. Despite criticism, Star says counselors at Greenleaf Elementary support the decision, explaining her son learned from the mistake and that's all that matters. In a statement, Greenleaf Elementary says ensuring a safe physical, emotional, and social environment is one of its core principles, adding, "Our counselor checked on the child throughout the day on Friday and plans to follow up with the student and parent this week." Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Wall Street rallies for a second day. The Dow up 159 points at the closing bell, topping 26,400. That's only about 200 points away from record territory. The S&P also higher. The NASDAQ finishes down about 6 points. Oil prices back over $71 a barrel. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
The first ever of anything is always special. That's why we're excited about the first ever 2018 Nissan Kicks. The Kicks kicks things up with best-in-class MPG, standard safety technology with automatic emergency braking system, and best-in-class cargo space to meet any lifestyle. Upgrades kicks things up with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bose driver headrest speakers. Over 1.4 million colorful options means your Kicks can be a first ever of its kind. The Kicks starts at under 20,000. Visit Nissan Guam for a test drive today. Nissan, innovation that excites.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A team of disaster inspectors from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the U.S. Small Business Administration began assessing the homes damaged by Typhoon Mangkhut yesterday. They spent most of the day visiting neighborhoods in Dededo where they saw homes that had lost their roofs and the soggy remains of what was left inside. FEMA spokesman Peter Sessom advised residents to take pictures of the damage done. If a federal disaster declaration is issued, homeowners need to provide proof of damage by showing pictures in order to qualify for relief funds. Don't wait to clean up, he said. Take pictures now and start on the road to recovery. Meanwhile, there are still nearly 200 people sheltered in the Estumbo gym. As of yesterday, Red Cross officials said they've met with every family in the shelter. They're working with Dededo Mayor Melissa Savares to help the remaining families find new residences. Those that have already qualified for the SNAP program are also eligible now for additional food stamp aid to replace food that spoiled following the loss of power in the wake of the typhoon last week. However, Public Health, which administers the food stamp program, says they're still waiting for instructions from the federal government on how SNAP beneficiaries can get that assistance. We'll have more news after this.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
News time here at The Point is 10 minutes past 6 a.m. A survey of the officers and staff at the Guam Police Department has found that a majority of those asked agree that GPD's leadership is doing the best it can given limited resources. However, 46% of the 100 personnel who responded to the survey said they felt overworked. The vast majority of respondents agreed that GPD supervisors did keep them informed on important issues, but similarly, the vast majority said they did not have sufficient personnel and resources to perform all of their duties. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapao told the Guam Daily Post that the Command Climate Survey was conducted at the beginning of this month. It's not the first such survey. There have been a number since Police Chief Joseph Cruz took over the department. Guam taxpayers who've been waiting for their refunds may soon get some good news. The governor's office expects the arrival of about $77 million in federal Section 30 funding within the next few days. The U.S. Department of Interior issues the Section 30 check every year in September before the beginning of the new fiscal year on October 1st. Its arrival generally heralds the start of a flood of tax refund payments. The first priority for the use of those funds is to pay out the debt owed to investors who brought Guam bonds, after which the bulk will be used to pay out refunds. It's been more than 3 weeks since the last refund checks went out. On August 27th, to date, roughly $76 million has been paid out, covering error-free returns filed through part of February 15th. The administration is racing to meet a court-ordered deadline to pay all tax refunds owed to island taxpayers by October 15th. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at the weather.
It's Ray and Mike and Ken from the National Weather Service, and the reason why we're going to the National Weather Service right away is because I'm not qualified to talk about monsoon troughs and explain to my own self why it is that we're going to be getting a whole bunch of rain here. Some say between 10 and maybe 20 inches of rain could fall on Guam between here and Monday. So Ken from the National Weather Service joining us. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
So what the heck is going on? I got to wash the car.
Well, not really. All you got to do is throw some soap on it.
And letting Mother Nature take care of the work, huh?
That's right.
Oh, we got the funny one. That's good. That's great. So explain to me. I'm going to put the satellite image up on Facebook Live so everybody can see what it is, some of the things that you are looking at. So we've got this monsoon trough that's supposed to be drifting west-northwest over the Mariana Islands over the weekend, and with it coming a whole lots of rain, yes?
Yes. We've got actually there's a weak disturbance down. It's almost to our southeast right now,
yeah.
And it's kind of developing a little bit as it's moving across to the south of Guam, and as it's developing and moving through, it's going to drag the monsoon trough over us, and it's going to give us a lot of extra water over the weekend. As far as the hydrologic outlook, we're looking at most likely about 4 to 6 inches of rain, but models are showing a possibility of up to 20 inches.
That's a lot of rain.
Yes, it is.
There's significant amounts of water. What is the expectation? What could the outcome be here on Guam? The impact of all of that rain falling in a fairly short amount of time.
Well, we could see a lot of, especially in the northern part of the island, a lot of nuisance flooding, with the roads flooded, deep water on the roads, and parking lots flooding, things like that. Farther south, we can see a lot of the streams and rivers flash flooding. We want to make sure hikers stay away from those areas when it's going on.
Yeah. We've already had one tragedy this year as a result of all of that. Any possibilities of landslides and things like that?
Definitely. That's a possibility with that much rainfall.
Gotcha. Now, what can we do to prevent this here? Is there anything that we just blow off in one direction? I'm just thinking, but preparation obviously is going to be the key, and just be prepared for that kind of, as you say, nuisance flooding, and be very, very careful if you're going to be hiking around rivers and streams.
Yeah, the main thing right now, there's still a lot of debris scattered around from the typhoon that went through. And what you want to do is make sure for any drainage areas that you clear out whatever you can from that debris, whether it's branches, leaves, whatever, to help open up drainage areas to let that water run off.
I'm wondering if they've managed to do all of that work down south, down in Melissa. We saw some really incredible footage and pictures, images of flooding, and what was used to be roads turned into streams down there.
Yes. And that's a definite, and that's something as well due to some of the construction, especially around Mauricio, due to some of the construction there and the way things were arranged.
Yeah.
Their flooding problems are going to be enhanced.
All right, got that. So maybe a phone call to Glenn Leon Guerrero to make sure the DPW has gone down there, and we'll take advantage of the time that we've got in front of us to do as much as they can to clear off some of the debris that is down there and that has managed to pile up in the last couple of months. Ken, I really appreciate your time here. Are there any other effects of this development down almost south of us now? Is that going to bring any problems for mariners, people that like to go and hang out and swim at the beach and go snorkeling and diving?
Well, it could later on. After this thing gets off to our west, it looks like it could start developing and getting a little bit stronger, become a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to affect us here on the islands much other than the rain. But we could see it get a little breezier and possibly some conditions hazardous for small craft later on in about early or mid part of next week.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I know I've taken up a lot of your time here in the last few days. I really appreciate you being on the line for giving me the explains on what we're going to be expecting around here and what we need to prepare for rain-wise.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime.
All right. I surely appreciate it. There's Ken for the National Weather Service this morning, and we go through the actual forecast today. Mostly cloudy skies, isolated showers, thunderstorms becoming scattered this evening. East winds to about 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Highs 88 degrees with a maximum afternoon heat index. A little bit cooler today, about 100.
Just a tad. Yeah, only 100.
Overnight lows about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight earlier and earlier, 6:18, and sunrise will be at 6:10. The autumnal equinox will occur at 11:54 a.m. Sunday. Should I wake up for that? Is that something we need to?
Man, if you're not awake at 11:54 on Sunday morning, then you had a really nice Saturday night.
Yeah, buddy. You never know what's going to be. They got that Korean thing on at Epal Beach on Saturday.
Maybe not.
Well, yeah. Come to think of it, that is an outdoor event, isn't it? There was something else I wanted. Remind me, with the autumnal equinox, there comes another phenomenon, and it's something I haven't had to worry about for the last couple of years. But we do talk radio shows from the United States mainland.
Right.
And it is possible that where our satellite receiver is over the mainland, there is going to be some equinox, and that means the sun will be directly over the satellite, and that means that any signal emanating from that satellite is going to be drowned in this geomagnetic RF that will come from the sun. There might be some times where there's outages on your programs. At any rate, I do have the weather, the radar up for you. So real quick, your read on what's going to be happening for Guam.
Yeah, not a lot there, as we can see, just some very isolated showers. That'll continue, but this will ramp up through the day, and then by tonight, this is looking to increase to scattered, just, meaning more rain, and that's going to continue to ramp up right on through the weekend.
And that's all you need to know about all of that. Welcome to the Ray Gibson Show here on The Point. News and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific. And remember that Bank Pacific is hooked up with the Atzuta Foundation. And for the foreseeable future, you got things. Imagine that you were wiped out and somebody said, here's the voucher, go to the store. What are you going to replace? And so we want you to think about that. Go and buy those things that you would replace and take them over to any Bank Pacific location, and they will put everything together, give it to Carlotta over at the Azuda Foundation, and they will figure out a way to get it all up to Rhoda. Incidentally, I know what you're thinking. They got container ships go back and forth, don't they? They can't take container ships right now. They're taking barges up in the Rhoda area. So think about that as you make the purchases to help those guys out. Again, Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Cavo Select Care continues to provide great benefits for Gov Guam with affordable rates. Get free access to our gym partners. Earn up to $300 with our gym fitness rewards. Earn up to $200 with our wellness rewards. Choose from a wider selection of medical providers on Guam and off island. With all of these benefits, staying with Cavo Select Care is that much easier. Gov Guam employees and retirees, enroll today.
Gotcha. Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant. Been serving Guam and essentially meat for like the last 45, 60, 70 years or something like that. And they know what we like and they know how we like it. So today at King's for lunch, it's meat cake. Meatloaf is for lunch over at King's. I know this is the day you wait for. It's like this. I know it's not Friday. Give me something to love. All right, so meatloaf over at King's for lunch.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
I see what that is. Portions of the program brought to you by some incredible friends that we've got here. Guam Regional Medical City. First choice for all of your, I was going to say open heart surgery needs, but we also interviewed yesterday a rheumatologist that they've got there, Zachary Pruse. Nice fella, and ran into a couple of people last night that were really happy to hear that interview because he was talking about maybe making their lives and some of the things that they're going through that much easier. Also brought to you by American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. American President Lines. They're shipping the future. And Micronesia Renewable Energy. Those guys are great. Never been a better time to go solar.
Join us for Coast 360's 4th Annual Eat Coast Run and Family Fair on Saturday, September 22nd at the Might Team Member Center. Showtime at 5:30 a.m., go time at 6 a.m. 360 flasks to the first 180 male and 180 female finishers. And the first 1,500 finishers get a quick dry performance hat. Register now at Coast 360 Member Centers and Goodies Sporting Goods. Stick around for the Eco Family Fair with food, fun, great prizes, and entertainment. See you at the 2018 Eat Coast Run and Family Fair.
Hot pastrami, that's the big deal over at Subway these days. It doesn't come around very often, so you got to take advantage of it when it does come around, and they're doing it right now. Hot pastrami, you get the thing and you put it on whatever your favorite bread is, your favorite condiments, and you can even get it on a wrap and just enjoy that lean, beefy kind of pastrami meat flavor. That is so good, and I'm pretty sure it's good for you. So try it out one of these days at Subway. Eat fresh.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, we're feisty this morning. I'm detecting feistiness. Check out the Guam Post election polls. Over 8,000 responded. Can somebody explain? Maybe one of the experts. Yeah, we can explain. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday. There's the what I've referred to with the governor's office as nose pickers. You get these folks there that $65,000, $70,000. They get these. What's your position? I'm a special assistant. Special assistant. Really? What do you do? You know, there's polls that we have at the Point.gu and the Guam Daily Post, the PDN and stuff like that. That's my job here. That's my job. When I'm not nose picking, I'm poll clicking. So that's the new phrase.
And damage controlling on Facebook.
They were originally just nose pickers, but now they're nose pickers and poll clickers. But there's only one poll. If you ask me, there's only one poll that makes any difference. And you're nodding your head up and down saying, yes, Raymond, I understand that the only poll that makes any kind of difference at all is the actual general election, 47 days away. No. The only poll that makes a difference, and you can see the results of it, page 29 on the Guam Daily Post. With all due respect, Kevin, this is the one. I know the Post has got their poll, but this is the one here that is
that
the big
you
deal.
like. Yeah.
Yes, well, it's the one that I like because it's unhackable. You know why it's unhackable? Because you have to spend money. No, you got to spend money if you want to hack this thing. You go to 76 Circle K, right, and you buy a cup of coffee. And when you get the cup of coffee, the little sleeve that goes on the outside so you don't burn your hands on the hot coffee that's inside, you select one of three. There are three of them. One of them is Lulian Guerrero. The other one is Ray Tenorio. And the third is just right in. It just right in. But when you look at the silhouette of the right in, that's Frank's jughead right there. Yeah. So that's Frank Uggin's head. So we kind of know where they're going with this. So these are the current results. Lulian Guerrero, 65%. 65% of the coffee drinkers at 76 Circle K are in for Lulian Guerrero. And then there's Toca Tenorio. Sorry, that's Bota Tenorio. And he's got 35% right now of all of the people. And then the write-ins have 0. Nobody is selecting the write-in so far. So 65% for Lulian Guerrero and 35% for Ray Tenorio and nothing for the write-ins. And so they've actually been pretty accurate on this. In the past. I want to say in all of the recent elections that 76 Circle K has conducted this. The voters, the coffee drinkers that go to 76 have picked the winner every single time.
The coffee poll.
I want to say that it happened. I'm just making that up off the top of my head. I'm just trying to get everybody to go to 76 and drink coffee.
I was going to pick up some sleeves just to bring them in for the visual here on Facebook Live, but they were going to charge me for them. So.
See? Yeah.
Okay.
So that is why I believe that this is supremely unhackable. It's 6:25 in the morning. Let's say hello to everybody on Facebook Live, shall we?
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Oh, this is great. You only want to be on this radio station in the morning. And that's so. Bob Kelly's there, Dora Marie Fegeger, Jeff Ojeda, Lillian Cruz. I see Neats is there. What's Lillian Cruz got to say this morning? Bula Matai to attend this weekend. Got to strategize and avoid Polaris. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It means a lot of funerals that you got to get to. Leah Beth Nahalawa saying good morning. Hafa Eunice Mendiola. Ken LG. Anita Muffness with the Valentine's eyes. Good morning, John Dalzell. What do you got? Carmen Leon Guerrero says, good morning, Guam. It's almost Friday. Oh, yeah. Bob Lizama with a wave. Hey, Vicky Ganashis. Melissa Mendiola Prolosky. Where's Nick? Are you guys watching on two separate accounts today? Ethel Reed says, good morning to Ray and Mike from South Carolina. Y'all have a great day today. It's a very nice day here. I'm listening to your show again, and I do enjoy it. Well, we enjoy broadcasting all the way out to you on Facebook Live. Landon Aitlet, Melissa Blige Scheibel. Water wells need a refill, according to Neats. We'll check on that. Simon Sanchez is online. He just needs to get his name out there so everybody remembers to vote for him for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. He's floating around another video. I might play that a little bit later on just for fun. James Turbio is online this morning. Vince Duenas, Randy Kruger, and Michelle Peer, who has got... Michelle, I need you to call in. I need you to call in this morning. She's doing a thing. She's an artist, and she's got a thing coming up where she's got these hand-painted wedding dresses. Now, I don't have a use for a wedding dress currently in my life, but there might be somebody that you know as we get into I don't know, the Burr months and planning a wedding for next year. Maybe a great way to get something that is very, very unique and unseen these days. So, Shelly, give me a call when you get a chance. Rico Blancaflor is on. Cousin Tedo up at the ranch. I see Joe Flores. Who else is on? Joe Servino, who's got P.E. at the end of his name. Nice to see that. Viv Cunningham, Charlene Marcia, So, Big Sister Shelley, Odessa Palacios, Hafa Odi, as in Odi, Odi, oh. Come on, you remember that old time song? Who else we got? There's Nick Perlowski and Pretty Ashley Calvo Rodriguez has joined up here. 6:28 in the morning. Nice to have everybody online. And what is it? What shall we talk about today? You want to talk about polls? We can talk about polls. What have I got? I haven't looked at my online poll at the point.gu. We've got one basically asking the same question as the Guam Daily Post in their poll. If the election were going to be held, who would you vote for? Well, no, that was what it was, but I changed it, right? I did. Hold on a second. Let me. Did Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh just win at Adelup? And your choices are: yep, you can hear the singing, or no, Ray and Tony are going to fight on. And 3 is nope, still got a write-in campaign out there. Click on where it says view results and get to that here. So according to the survey here, 19% said yes, Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh just won Adelup. You can hear the singing. 76.79 say no, Ray and Tony are going to fight on. And then there's nope, still got a write-in campaign out there. I will publish the comments. If you leave a comment, I go back to the site about once, twice a day, and will approve or disapprove the comments. Most of the time, I approve them. I very, very rarely ever disapproved a comment to some, and generally, it's not that somebody said something mean. It's just that I thought if I put that up there, I was going to get sued, and I really would rather not get the suit. And what do we got? Yep. Can you hear the singing? Anonymous said yes, and wrote, "God help Guam if they didn't." And I'm a Republican voted for Lou and Josh. Another anonymous said, Ray and Tony are more qualified to lead our island of Guam. They have more government experience, leadership, dealing with both local and federal officials. They are more knowledgeable and have what it takes to win Adelup. They're also both very humble and sincerely concerned with the future of Guam and all Guamanians. God bless them both. God says, another one writes, God says men are leaders. We listen to his command. Another command is forgiveness. Lord, I pray for our island and bless those that seek your word. Amen. Now would be a good time for the... used to have a guy used to
He's
call me
going to
up.
need more than God's help this election.
And Bob O'Malley left his name and said, I'm in with Lou and Josh for governor and lieutenant governor. You want to play around with that? You're welcome to. It's the point.gu on the World Wide Web. But where do we get to go today? Where's the actual news here? Do I have any action? Somebody asked me, I said, what are you going to talk about tomorrow? I said, I don't know. I'm sure politics will be part of the conversation. And just never know. But there's not a whole lot by way of politics this morning, right? We don't have a whole lot.
Taking a little breather.
Why? It's 47.
We need one.
Look, I don't need to express this, but I'm gonna. There's 47 days before the general election. I checked at the Guam Election Commission site. They got a little countdown timer. There's 47 days between now and the general election. And what Cosendo said it best yesterday on Facebook Live. He says, a gubernatorial election and the race to a general election is like a 12-round boxing match, and we're not even halfway there. There's still so much more that needs to get done, and there's still so much more by way of marketing yourself as a candidate. You've got to market your team. And show everybody that you've got. Yeah, I have a heart for the people. You got to do that, and you know what? Leave no stone unturned. I mean, every day has to be a victory for one of the 2 or 3 teams that are out there. There needs to be more from Frank and Alicia if they're doing their thing. There needs to be headlines from Lou and Josh. They got to be. Ray and Tony have got a little bit of ground that they've got to make up. I spoke to a guy yesterday who claims to have some early research that says that the recent you can't call me when I'm on the air. Oh, I know what this is about. I might need to take a break. Hold on. Wait first. I'm on the radio, talking on the radio at this time. So what was I saying? I was saying that Ray, somebody's out there that's got a little bit of research that says that the recent headlines, the summons and the complaint have had an impact and could be cause for people in that camp to be a little bit concerned.
So we had a knockdown, but they're back up and fighting again.
Yeah, well, but still, you gotta take advantage of every opportunity. Ray Tenorio yesterday calling a press conference with a bunch of folks in the education community says we're doing it already. Not going to wait until he's elected governor. He's coming out and talking about free education for one and for all. And oh, by the way, in case you didn't realize that the man is very, very close to us culturally, it's now Ray Sinahi Tenorio. If you see the front page of the Pacific Daily News, Ray Tenorio is wearing the Sinahi, sporting that. Was it yesterday Sinahi Wednesday?
Yes.
Is that what happened? All right. Tell you what, I've actually got to take this phone call. So let's jump into headlines. 6:33 in the morning from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Daily Post this morning. 32-year-old Mikenson Kitao is facing allegations of home invasion and family violence following his arrest at a residence in Jonia on Tuesday. According to the magistrate complaint, Kitao struck a 30-year-old woman with a metal baseball bat, causing heavy bruises and possibly breaking her left arm. The victim told police that Kitao first broke a window in the home with the bat and then chased another man out of the house who was in the bedroom. A bill setting new, more stringent requirements for anyone appointed to be customs director got a hearing at the legislature yesterday, but no one from the administration showed up to testify about the measure. Bill 337 requires the director of customs to be at least 35 years old with 15 or more years of experience in a customs agency and 3 years in a senior customs position or equivalent management experience. The appointee also must have a bachelor's degree or higher in criminal justice law, public administration, or a related field. Public Safety Chair Senator Talina Nelson introduced the measure following her decision not to forward the nomination of then acting Customs Director Eric Palacios out of her committee over questions about his lack of experience and past conduct. Palacios' acting term has since expired, and he has been replaced by George Charfaras, who also continues to serve as the administration's civil defense advisor. Guam Community College and the GCA Trades Academy will begin accepting applications today from recent high school graduates interested in free courses in the construction and tourism industries. The U.S. Department of the Interior is covering the cost of tuition with 2 grants totaling nearly $1 million. GCC is offering courses for 90 qualified students in hospitality and tourism, as well as cook and food service certifications. The Trades Academy will be accepting 103 students who will get training in construction industry skills, tuition free. Priority goes to U.S. citizens who are 2018 or 2017 high school graduates. To apply, contact the Trades Academy or Guam Community College. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
All right, thank you very much. 6:36, and that is iConnect time. They are the practical choice. Find out why they call themselves that. Give them a ring at 888-8888 and ask them about push-to-talk plans and the mobile plans and internet plans at iConnect.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
It's Wendy's Harvest Chicken Salad, something new that we want you to try. And you'll have all of the flavors of fall in there. I think the only thing they didn't put in was pumpkins. Made with fresh cut lettuce, crisp red and green apples, and dried cranberries, and the perfect combination of applewood smoked bacon and crumbly feta cheese. The new salad comes with an apple cider vinaigrette dressing and brown sugar roasted walnuts. This fall season, fall for the new... I love that. I love that. Jeff Marshall must have written it. It's just so clever. This fall season, fall for the new Harvest Chicken Salad from Wendy's. Now that's better.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Traffic gizmo noise, and is there anything now that you need to worry about? I'm looking at the maps. I'm not seeing a whole lot. A little bit of traffic starting to build, if you will, over by the southbound Assen area, and then northbound just before you get to Paseo. You might see a few more cars in traffic through there. Looks like we got a little bit of build going on in front of Navy Hospital right now, but everything looks like it's moving smoothly. Just a lot of cars for this time of the day. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, a little bit of build before you get to the flea market, and on Route 27, you might see some traffic there. That's the roadway that will take you through the infusion and cost you less, and eventually it begins to clear up over by the recreation center that they've got there up in Dedito. Don't see too much else happening right now. Don't see anything building up over in Sumai or Anderson Air Force Base, so looks clear at 6:38. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
47 days between here and the general election. And have you decided yet who it is that is going to be taking your vote? Will it be Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio? Will it be Ray Tenorio and Ton Hada? Or is it going to be a write-in? Have you decided on that? Those are going to be the options in front of every single voter that gets to the precincts on November the 6th. Again, 47 days from here and now. And as I said, there's a lot that can happen between here and now. There's a lot of moves. Some will be spectacular. Some will be less spectacular that you've got to make in order to ensure that you are, in fact, you've made that decision. My buddy's asking, is there such a thing as a three-sided coin? We might need a three-sided coin for the folks the currently undecided who will have to wait until that very last second.
Let's get a Dungeons and Dragons set. They got the 6-sided die.
Right.
We can just roll those.
So you can just do, a 6-sided die. I was going to say you do an even and odd, but there's no even or odd. There's no third choice on an even or odd thing. So we got to sort that out.
Yeah.
It's not in your head this morning, is it?
It is not happening. No. Hey, look, I came up with 6-sided die, man. That's the best I can do on Thursday.
I used to have one of those when I was I did a radio promotion once, and I used that as much as possible, like a 26-sided die. I bought one of those things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because what is that? Was it an alphabet contest or something like that? I don't know. 641-888-8255 is a telephone number around here. Maria Pangolina from the Guam Election Commission. Good morning, Maria.
How's the day, Ray Gibson?
It's always nice talking to you. My favorite when I get to start off the program with you, because there's just so much going on at the Guam Election Commission, and seeing as how between Lou and Ray and Frank's camps, they're all quiet this morning. I figured I better see if I can stir something up with the Guam Election Commission. Now, do you have to go and junk and poll or something with Les Carlson so you can get all the money that you need to pay everybody for the primary?
Well, there are appropriations that were made by law for Guam Election Commission. So we're looking into getting those released so that the Guam Election Commission can process the payments.
Right. Now, so you're talking about continuing appropriations that go back to 2016 that should still be somewhere in the books, right?
That's correct.
That's not the way the government of Guam works.
Well, in a budget law, there was an administrative provision that said that Guam Election Commission can continue to use those funds until extended.
Right. And so you believe that somewhere there's a bank account that actually still has that money in it?
No, I don't believe that. I believe
you have the authority. You've got the authority, but Les doesn't have the cash.
BBMR is BBMR put the reserve, put those that appropriation in reserve.
Right.
Right. So it's Department of Administration that doesn't have the cash.
It's just that my recollection of the way things work. It's like, they say that 10% holdback, and in the allotments that go from the general fund finally to those departments and agencies. My understanding is that has never been actual cash. It's not like we've got the money, we're just holding it back and not giving it to you, right? So I can see where they were looking at that in the same way. And I don't know, we had to pay for those little shacks over at the Festpac Village or something, and I'll bet you that's where your money went.
I don't know, Ray Gibson. That's for you to decide.
I'll see what I can find out, because I'm a little bit unnerved about this. We had the whole primary election, and in fact, you and I talking about all of the different expense items that there were. I mean, you got to pay for the police, and you got to make sure that Glenn Leon Guerrero gets compensated for the buses and the drivers and the diesel, and there's 101 different expense items. In fact, there's a story, I think in the Daily Post where Les said that he already told you that we're going to have to scale things down, but he said GEC could have scaled down the cost of the primary election. This did not happen. In fact, costs for food and rentals appear to have increased the cost for the primary. So Les seems to he's wagging his finger at you a little bit, Maria.
Yes, that's Ray. Additional expenditures are not done by the director by herself. We are governed by the board, and the board approved, going through the primary election, going through the special election. So we're not asking BBMR for cash, technically. The appropriation by law, we're asking for them to release that.
Right.
Yes. So the expenditures were, one of the things is has Guam Election done Commission? What have we done? Well, the law says that the Department of Public Works must provide the government of Guam school buses to transport precinct officials and the ballot boxes.
Correct.
So Department of Public Works and the Guam Election Commission did that. The law says Guam Election Commission can continue the fiscal year 2016 appropriation can continue to be available to the Guam Election Commission until expended.
Right. No, I understand the point that you're making, but according to Les in this morning's Daily Post, GEC continued to plan the 2018 primary as if all of the funding authorizations necessary were in place and approved, and Carlson said this was not the case. So while you might have the statute there, I guess BBMR's position was that they were seemed to be pretty clear that they didn't actually have the cash to support the usual expenses that you guys were going through. I'll see what I can find. I'll see if we can get a hold of Les this morning and find out what is going to happen. But it's $117,000 that you need now to cover the remainder of your expenses for the primary election. Is that correct?
No, there's a little bit more.
A little bit more. How much?
All expenses, all what we paid, for example, the Department of Public Works, right? Mm-hmm. That's by law. The Election Return Center, that's the field house. We must keep it open.
Right.
Those are things those are usual expenditures by the Guam Election Commission, and so throughout the fiscal year, we have. And in our budget hearing, we said, well, we know, the Guam Election Commission, I knew, that with the continuing appropriation that was made available since the beginning of fiscal year 2018, we had planned out the election based on those parameters, and that's what we used from the very beginning. From the very beginning of fiscal year 2018.
I understand, but if there's no money, and I don't know where they're going to come up with it, but I'll find out. Let me give me some time to get Les Carlson on the radio, and see if we can see if he can give me a venue, a vehicle, so we can get some satisfaction on this. So $117,000 just for precinct officials, but there are other expenses that need to get covered. Guam Election Commission laboring under the idea that they've got some additional revenue available to them based on funds that should have that were made available by law with the budget law from 2016. But again, my understanding of the way the government works is we're spending every dime that we have, and we'll get caught up a little bit later on. So it's possible that Glenn might have to wait on getting some of that dough for his buses, and the guys over at the field house might have to hold on for a little bit before they get paid for the primary election. I'm sure they're going to want to get paid for that before the general election and the ballot counting. But you do have one other thing I want to help you out with, and that is voter registration. You're shooting for younger voters, so you've got a registration drive coming up?
Yes, the National Voter Registration Drive will be here on Guam on Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Oh, cool.
So, yes, and so National Voter Registration Day across America is being celebrated on September 26th.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the international dateline, we've decided to do it September 25th and 26th. And all this happens, and on Guam, we're going to try to get the millennials to register to vote and then come out on Tuesday, November 6th. So, volunteer voter registrars will be scheduled across the public island high schools and some private schools that have accepted our invitation, and Guam Community College and University of Guam. So,
so it's not just you guys. I mean, there's an actual group of people that have flown out to Guam for this.
No, it's just the volunteer registrars.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Our community volunteer registrars.
So
we're asking for them to get involved with us, and they will go to the schools and register the faculty, staff, administration, and students who are eligible to vote. So we're asking the parents if they would give their authorization for their children to register to vote if they are U.S. citizens, 16 years and older, and have lived in Guam, of course, for 30 days before November 6th.
All the usual stuff there. All right, then, and my producer is telling me that Les basically refused to comment. We've reached out to him and offered him an opportunity to explain where it is that you're supposed to get the money. He says something about it not being a public debate. All right, so we'll work on this. I don't know where you're going to get the money. He doesn't want to talk to me about it. So I'll bark up another tree for you a little bit later on. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ray Gibson.
We all love the way you call me Ray Gibson when you're on the air. That's great. 651-888-8255. And so it doesn't look like, Glenn, it doesn't look like she's going to be able to pay you for the buses and the drivers for the primary election. Is that going to be a big problem for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pay our overtime. We'll have to scrounge up the money. I don't leave my guys out. We'll have to figure out something.
Yeah. So I don't know. What is that something? What does something like that cost? I was going to say DPW, but at the end of the day, it's the taxpayer. So what does that end up costing us to have as many of the buses and the drivers and doing that and overtime hours, as you point out, for the primary and the general election?
I think this one was because was a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're talking about maybe 20,000, something like that, 20,000.
That's not nothing. I mean, it's not as big as 117,000 for the what do you call it, the precinct workers, but it is still a lot of money. Has anybody ever questioned the need to use GovGuam buses to transport the ballots back and forth?
No, when I was there, Ray, was because it was cheaper instead of I mean, you needed to be secured. You had an officer to only. They came with us, and so I mean, it's a call that Maria's going to have to make, and I'm sure there's other. You should do that anyways. After every election, do your wash and figure out if there's other.
Yeah, does it still make sense? I think she said it was statute. It's guaranteed in statute that we'd use DPW buses and drivers.
I don't know. It's certainly not in my budget, and I know it's in her budget. So, and we actually had an MOU. So, I don't know. I don't think that's a statute.
I'm thinking the guys over at Stroll Guam.
Yeah.
Maybe just get some of those drivers there, hang out.
Yeah. The only thing that you got to do is make sure that the ballots are secured and it's not people can't touch it. People that they're very, you got to preserve the integrity of the election. So to make sure you do that, the handover's got to be very, very secure and all that other stuff.
I got you. Hey, a couple of things that I was yakking about just off the top of my head here is that we've got this weather that's coming in here. I don't know if you've heard the National Weather Service is talking about some significant rain coming in between here and Monday, something like 20 inches of rain, and we've already seen with less than that some of the flooding down in Molesso. So I was wondering if you guys are going to be hardening up any of the work down there to get cleared debris and et cetera.
Yeah, we just got wind of that yesterday, and no pun intended. But so we've already started to deploy our guys. The biggest, the last faction of actually we finished as of yesterday. We finished all the router roads, cleared them up. Now our next goal is to work in the secondary roads in the villages, and we've actually pulled a different crew, a different team to start hardening, as you would say, down on Maritza, down the southern parts, especially around Barcenas' area. So
yeah, is there anything can be done about that permanently, or was it the construction that that took place down there that's creating some kind of a new stream or that effect, or is that a long time problem, or just things that need to get cleared up?
I'm really not too clear on the forensics of that. I know that river actually went straight across instead of taking a 90-degree turn. We are looking at trying to put a grant into FEMA. It's due no later than November, and what we're looking at doing to put the levees upstream from that so that we can control the flow and also control the debris. So. If we get the grant, we'll be able to do that, and that's also one of the fixes we were looking at here in the Ganya. The Ganya River.
Okay, gotcha. And one last thing, just because it's my rant and it's my favorite thing to rant about but the god awful butt ugly chain link fence between Kmart and JFK. Did you notice that it's lost another section in the front?
I did. So we're gonna fix it.
No, don't fix it. Take it down. Take the thing down. Don't bother fixing it. Just take it down. The whole purpose for its existence now is rendered obsolete because we don't have the thing in the front. The whole front end of it is gone. So just take it down and put something else there. We'll put some K rails, some Jersey rails down there, and we'll make the students at JFK paint them.
Okay, we'll get to it somehow, Ray.
I don't know when Mike's has put thorny bushes down there. Those kids wear long pants. They're going to go right through that.
I said, Ray, let's you and I, we'll talk to Nate and see if we can get some money, and we can change it from a chain link fence to
something that's got some gorgeous on it. He was talking about doing that. So you and Nate get together, and we'll take whatever money we can find that's left over from the Guam Election Commission and use that to pretty the thing up. I got to run here. It's getting ridiculous. Glenn Leon Guerrero from the Department of Public Works with us this morning. Folks down in Molesso, help will be on the way. We're going to try to prevent as much southern flooding as possible, right?
Right.
All right, Migo, I'll talk to you pretty soon. 888-8255. A couple of minutes away from the top of the hour, and there's some interesting news that I'll follow around for. He was talking about getting some grant money, and if you follow some of the headlines and stories around here, you will find that we are already been beneficiaries of a whole lot of grant money that's coming out here. Folks over at Farm to Table.
It was Grant Wednesday yesterday, it seemed like.
Must have been, public hearings and the like, with all kinds of people talking about here's your money for this and here is your money for that. And I'm hoping that some of it will trickle down to me. I'm very, very interested. Maybe in the next hour, we'll see if we can find out how it might be that we can take advantage of this free education that they're talking about. And the folks over, I guess, Ray Tenorio and everybody that has anything to do with education in the small conference room at Adelup yesterday, right?
They did, yes.
Now, were you in attendance at that?
I was.
You were.
Yeah.
There was streaming going on the Guam Daily Post Facebook page.
That's right, yeah.
And I saw a little bit of that, and I said, is this spinny at all? Is this campaigny at all? And I got distracted, so I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. So we'll get caught up with some of the people in the next hour or so that may have something to do with it, might actually have some information on how you might be able to get yourself a free education. I know what you're thinking. Wait a second. There's no such thing as a free education or a free lunch. What else is going on around here? The Command Climate Survey. What's that? Did that have anything to do with the weather? No, they're polling police officers to find out how they feel about the current management regime and how they feel about their jobs and their ability to do their jobs and all of that stuff. The pertinent parts of that survey are in today's Guam Daily Post as well. If you haven't picked up a copy, then start doing that right now. If we're very lucky, you might get to hear from Telena on the results of the hearings that she had yesterday, trying to make it so that there are qualifications for a couple of positions. One of them being the customs and quarantine, and the other one is who's for the guy that runs the Department of Corrections. Of course, it leads me to ask the question: what are the qualifications for a senator? 7 o'clock in the morning, we're KUSG. I got ya. This is the headquarters of Fox News Live. Got that coming up. And our friend Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post will fill your ears with all the big stories today. So don't you move an inch.
We're with you all the way on Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump personally delivering that message to the Carolinas and warning the danger from Hurricane Florence is not over yet. Fox's Gernal Scott with more live.
Lisa, today President Trump told the Carolinas that assistance is coming.
Our entire American family is with you and ready to help.
He stopped first in North Carolina to survey damage and relief efforts. Governor Roy Cooper says he talked housing and roads with the president and also
the needs of the agricultural community and the needs of the farmers. We have entire farms underwater.
Then on to South Carolina, where the president promised that state's governor, Henry McMaster, help in rebuilding from the flooding to come. Both North and South Carolina have disaster declarations from the White House, Lisa.
Well, Gernal, as he left for that trip this morning, President Trump offering more support for his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh.
Justice Kavanaugh has been treated very, very tough. And his family, I think it's a very unfair thing what's going on.
He also says the Senate probe of a sexual misconduct claim against Kavanaugh should be allowed to run its course. Kavanaugh plans to testify Monday at a Senate hearing about the high school allegation. Attorneys for his accuser want the FBI involved and criticize the committee chair for calling the hearing. She has not agreed to appear yet. A mass shooting at a software company outside Madison, Wisconsin.
We saw one person that was really bloodied being escorted out to one of the ambulances.
She works at a business next door. The shooter wounded 3 people before he was killed by police. No word yet on a motive. In Pennsylvania, at least 1 person dead, 4 others injured in a shooting outside a district judge's office. It happened in Masontown, south of Pittsburgh. Investigation underway. The fate of the shooter not yet clear. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your first Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin,
Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
A small plane crashing onto a road in Texas. It hit several vehicles and took down some power lines. The plane's also said to be leaking fuel. There's no word yet on any injuries. This happened in Fort Bend County. An international manhunt underway for Cody Wilson, best known for his 3D gun printing company. But he's now charged with sexual assault in Texas, accused of paying a 16-year-old girl for sex at a hotel. Police commander Troy Officer in Austin says Wilson failed to catch a return flight from Taiwan.
We know Mr. Wilson frequently travels for business. We don't know why he went to Taiwan, but we do know before he left, he was informed by a friend of the victim that she had spoken to police, and police were investigating him for having sex with a minor.
Police say Wilson is believed to have met the girl on a website where users are supposed to be at least 18. An NBA owner agrees to step up with a lot of money after a workplace investigation over claims of a culture of sexual harassment.
The NBA said they found no wrongdoing on the part of Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, just noting he didn't pay enough attention to the toxic culture within his own organization. As a result, Cuban will donate $10 million to women's organizations, something called Important Steps Towards Rectifying This Past Behavior. In a statement by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, a probe was launched 7 months ago into the culture of misogyny and predatory sexual behavior within the Mavericks organization, revealed in a report by Sports Illustrated. Officials spoke to 215 current and former Mavs employees, examined more than 1.5 million documents, emails, and text messages as part of this investigation. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Wall Street getting close to record territory. The Dow up 158 today, topping 26,400. That's about 200 points from its all-time high. The S&P also rising. The NASDAQ, though, slipping 6 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Join us for Coast 360's 4th Annual Eat Coast Run and Family Fair on Saturday, September 22nd at the My Team Member Center. Showtime at 5:30 a.m., go time at 6 a.m. 360 flasks to the first 180 male and 180 female finishers. And the first 1,500 finishers get a quick dry performance hat. Register now at Coast 360 Member Centers and Goodies Sporting Goods. Stick around for the Eco Family Fair with food, fun, great prizes, and entertainment. See you at the 2018 Eco's Run and Family Fair.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A word this morning from the Calvo administration that the Section 30 check has finally arrived, and Governor Calvo announcing that he has directed the Department of Revenue and Taxation and the Department of Administration to process and begin the disbursement of tax refund checks. The Section 30 check that has been received amounts to about $77 million. Good news for Guam taxpayers who've been waiting for their refunds. The last refund payments went out about 3 weeks ago, and the disbursement of that $77 million, of course, first priority goes to paying down the investors who bought Guam bonds, but then the rest, or bulk of the rest, will go out for tax refunds. We'll have more news on that later this morning. Meanwhile, a team of disaster inspectors from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the U.S. Small Business Administration began assessing the homes damaged by Typhoon Mangkhut yesterday. They spent most of the day visiting neighborhoods in Dededo where they saw homes that had lost their tin roofs and the soggy remains of what was left inside. FEMA spokesman Peter Sessum advised residents to take pictures of the damage to their homes. If a federal disaster declaration is issued, homeowners need to provide proof of damage by showing pictures in order to qualify for relief funds. Don't wait to clean up. Take pictures now, he said, and start on the road to recovery. There are still nearly 200 people sheltered in the Astumbo gym following last week's typhoon. That was as of yesterday afternoon. Red Cross officials say they've met with nearly every family in the shelter, and they're working with Dededo Mayor Melissa Cervaras to help the remaining families find new homes. We'll have more news after this.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. A bill setting new, more stringent requirements for anyone appointed to be customs director got a hearing at the legislature yesterday, but no one from the administration showed up to testify about it. Bill 337 requires the director to be at least 35 years old with 15 or more years of experience in a customs agency and 3 years in a senior customs position. The appointee also must have a bachelor's degree or higher in criminal justice, law, public administration, or a related field. Public Safety Chair Senator Talina Nelson introduced the measure following her decision not to forward the nomination of then acting Customs Director Eric Palacios out of her committee over questions about his lack of experience and past conduct. Palacios' acting term has since expired, and he has been replaced by George Charfaris, who also continues to serve as the administration's civil defense advisor. Guam Community College and the GCA Trades Academy will begin accepting applications today from recent high school graduates interested in free courses in the construction and tourism industries. The U.S. Department of the Interior is covering the cost of tuition with 2 grants totaling nearly $1 million. GCC is offering free courses for 90 qualified students in hospitality and tourism, as well as cook and food service certifications. The Trades Academy will be accepting 103 students who will get tuition-free training in construction industry skills. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio held a news conference yesterday to announce the decision, saying working families now have the opportunity to put their children through school at a higher level tuition-free. Education Board Chairman Mark Mendiola was also at that news conference, and he urged recent high school graduates to apply, saying there is no way to break the cycle of poverty but through higher education. To apply, contact the Trades Academy or Guam Community College. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray now and Mike with some weather.
Mostly cloudy and isolated showers, thunderstorms becoming scattered this evening. Winds east up to about 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Expected daytime highs today, 88 degrees, but that's just what the thermometer is going to say. What's it going to feel like, Mike?
About 100 degrees out there. Yeah, what that is a moisture. They call it the precipitable water values are very high right now. And that means there's just a lot of moisture in the air and makes it feel really, really hot.
Absolutely. About 100 degrees of feel like this afternoon. Overnight low 78 degrees. Now it's not going to feel like 100 degrees if it starts raining like the Dickens, right?
Probably not.
Okay,
no,
so
it'll feel
cool
much
things
better.
down a whole lot. So you might want to actually hope that this monsoon trough comes in a little bit sooner than later, huh?
I think, we're kind of darned if we do and darned if we don't. If it doesn't come, it's going to be really, really, really hot. And if it does, it's going to be really, really, really wet.
Yeah, developing tropical disturbance in the associated monsoon trough will gradually drift west-northwestward over the Mariana Islands for the weekend, generating locally heavy downpours beginning as early as tomorrow night through Monday night. Up to 10 inches of rain over the Marianas, depending on what this thing does. And there are some weather guys, including the one I work with, that says maybe up to 20.
Yeah, there's a one particular, the GFS model, the run earlier this morning that I checked, showed an additional circulation developing on the east side of 92W right over the Marianas. And if that happens, we're in deep doo.
It'll be a toad soaker, what my old man used to call a gully washer. He had a couple other kind of Midwestern descriptive terms about a cow and a flat rock, but I'm not going to talk about that on the radio. 7:14, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
The first ever of anything is always special. That's why we're excited about the first ever 2018 Nissan Kicks. The Kicks kicks things up with best-in-class MPG, standard safety technology with automatic emergency braking system, and best-in-class cargo space to meet any lifestyle. Upgrades kicks things up with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bose driver headrest speakers. Over 1.4 million colorful options means your Kicks can be a first ever of its kind. The Kicks starts at under $20,000. Visit Nissan Guam for a test drive today. Nissan, innovation that excites.
7:15 in the morning, and a good time to start thinking about lunch. Where Kings? That's all you really need to think about. You go, well, what am I going to eat, smart guy? They've already got the specials laid out for you. Every single day there's a different special, and today it's meatloaf. Now, I like meatloaf for a couple of reasons. It's among my favorite comfort food in the whole wide world, but the other one is Meatloaf Thursday means that tomorrow is Beef Tanak Friday. You see where this is going? Lunch today and tomorrow at King's.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Yeah. Where are we going to go here today? Portions of the program brought to you by my buddies over at First Hawaiian Bank, FHB, where it all starts with yes. Yes, Umbi.
Morrico Equipment on Ipao Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, booney dogs, booney grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morrico Equipment also own Morrico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click morricoequipment.com.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah. It's good news, but it's poorly presented. I'm looking at this press release here from the governor's office. More tax refund checks to go out to taxpayers. With this headline, that's the headline. Governor Calvo has directed the Department of Revenue and Taxation and the Department of Administration to process and begin the disbursement of tax refund checks. Here comes the quote. This administration, even before we came into office, when we were in high school, we said we were going to ensure tax refunds was made a priority, Governor Calvo Camacho stated, "We've kept that promise and have sought ways to get tax refunds to you even earlier, even suing the legislature." So there's the news here is that tax refund checks are going out, and they want to tell a story about how they get stung by the legislature on the Tran bill. So you gotta sift through that and then get back into the news part about, okay, tax refunds. The governor's office today received notice that Section 30 monies have been officially received by Guam. The disbursement of these refunds can begin after debt service payments have been secured by the trustee. And then you would think that the next sentence would say something about how much money we're talking about is after we've paid all of our debts, how much money is going to be going to actual tax refunds. That would be the next thing, right?
We're going to find out. Let's get Oya on the line.
Then exercising smart fiscal management meant the administration was able to pay. Nobody cares about that. We want to know how much money is coming in the tax refunds and when it's going to happen. That's what we want to know. It's $77 million worth of Section 30 dough, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to make payments to the people that we bondholders, right?
Yeah.
That's important. The first lien holders on the Section 30 funds, and then we'll take that money, whatever's left over, and turn that into tax refunds. So how much is that pile? How big is the pile after we pay the bond guys?
Sounds like a good question.
Sounds like something they should have put in the press release in the first place. So people have got some kind of idea. Well, just as long as all the checks go out before, what is it, October the 15th?
October the 15th.
Is that the deadline?
That's the deadline.
Yeah, prior to actually having an October the 15th deadline. You know why they made it October the 15th? Because they didn't want people to get confused with tax refunds and who you vote for in the election. I think that's why they settled on that particular date.
It's 6 months after the tax day.
Yeah. Well, then wouldn't it be the 17th?
No, April 15th.
But
April, May.
But the
June,
tax deadline. No. But the
July.
tax deadline was the 17th, right? Because of the holiday in D.C.
Generally, it's the 15th.
Yeah. I got you.
I
understand.
6 months after the due date, which is April 15th.
Could have put that in the press release too.
Sure. You want to rewrite it?
I think I just did. We'll find out for you how much money we're talking about is going to be in the pile and when you may anticipate starting to see your tax refunds coming in from the what is it, the Section A, the Status A refund and returns that are out there. It's 7:20 in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show here on the Point. 888-8255. What's the most important thing I get to tell you about now? What happened on the markets? And the lady said there was a good day happening in the markets today. 26,405 for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It picked up another 158 points. This is going to end up to be, if things keep going here, this is going to be a good week for the Dow. S&P 500, 2,907 points. They're up by 3. The NASDAQ managed to close off, but only by about 6 points, 7,950. The FTSE is up. The Nikkei is up. Hang Seng is up. Shanghai is up. Even the DAX is up. That's nice to see here. Oil trading at, $71.44. That's not the Tapas price. That's the West Texas crude price, $71.44 right now. I've got new numbers for Tapas. Earlier trading in the $80 range. Well, it's not 80 anymore. $79.38 is the going rate for a barrel of Tapas crude. So I'd like to see that go backwards for a whole lot more before anything else happens. What? Somebody has got a tax refund question. Okay, all right. Just a generic caller with a question about the tax refunds. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ray, I'm kind of surprised why, when you were talking about the tax refunds, you didn't bring up the issue of the payments for the refunds are going to be made by monies that came in from a source other than the tax payments themselves. I mean, isn't it supposed to be if I pay the government $100 but I only really owe $80, they're supposed to take that $20 extra and put it somewhere that they never touch and then send me the refund from that account reserved just for the refunds and not have to rely on Section 30 or some other fund to pay it after the fact?
Yeah, I don't believe that is the way the government works.
Well,
you would think, yeah, if there's some kind of an overpayment, but I mean, fact of the matter is, you've made that overpayment. You have technically given the government an interest-free loan, or at least in this case, a lot of interest-free. And in years past, there was interest that had been applied to late tax refunds. But in this case, if they've got their hands on your money, they're going to use your money. They're not going to park it into some fund.
Right, I understand that, but what I'm surprised about is how we collectively, it seems, have gotten to the point where we're willing to let go of the idea that that extra $20 should be put in some fund and never touched until it's mailed back to me as part of my refund.
Yeah.
It's interesting how we've become accustomed to the idea that my tax refund is going to be paid from another source other than the taxes I actually pay.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm trying to postulate in my head how to frame the opposite side of that. So if I were to underpay, then from what sources would the government use to fund their operations?
It's a separate issue. Let's not mix.
No. But I mean, it's simple accounting, if you ask me. I mean, I've got vendors that might pay me too much. All right, so I'll eventually get them some kind of a refund. Right? I've got people that may pay me for advertising. They pay me too much. I'll get them a refund in 30 days, something like that. But inside that 30 days, I'm still using that money, right?
Yeah, but I would argue that we have enough accounting data to know what the payment rates are from the population as a whole, whereby it wouldn't be that difficult to calculate how much revenue we have or anticipate to have at a particular time from the payment histories of the people and adjust the budget accordingly.
And so, and in the case of somebody that overpays, I hear what you're saying. Take that money, park it someplace. We'll stick it in Ray's escrow account, and then when it comes to be tax refund time, we know that we can make these refunds because we've actually set those dollars aside.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. The way this government spends money, I don't think that has ever happened. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Right, and because see what I caught in your first discussion about this was the idea that there was the implication that it's the legislature's fault that the refunds can't be paid.
No, that was the governor's implication. That's almost the entire press release in the governor's office reads that way. It's them talking about how they get stung on the Tran bill. In 2017, this administration submitted a bill to the legislature which would have resulted in taxpayers receiving their refunds within weeks of filing status A. The way to do this was to enter into an arrangement with a financial institution using a financing instrument called a tax revenue anticipation note. Now, what you're saying is that would have been unnecessary if the government had already started to set aside overpayments.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just taking issue with the fact that they issued a press release that basically has one piece of news in it, and that the Section 30 monies are in. Tax refund checks will go out from that. Where they've lapsed in this announcement was they're not telling us how much of the Section 30 money is going to be left over after we pay the bondholders.
Oh, I hear you, and that's an important issue. But to the basic issue of tax refunds, the government needs to get both philosophically and practically back to the idea that overpayments are set aside and not touched for any reason other than refunds. Then we don't have to have this discussion about whether another source of funds will fund the tax refund.
Yeah. We've got how many sailors on leave here with Valiant Shield we got in here? You ever heard the phrase "spending like a drunken sailor"?
Of course.
Yeah, so the government of Guam, it spends every nickel that it gets. I had the conversation with Maria Pangilinan in the last hour. They are under the impression that they've got funds left over, continuing appropriation from 2016, with which to fund the expenses of the primary election. And Les Carlson has been pretty clear that that's not the case. That money is not there. Don't spend it. They spent it and authorized the expenditures, but there's no dough there.
Well, I'll give you a little trick I developed years ago that has never failed me. If you're ever at some function where somebody running for an office walks up to you and wants your vote and you just don't want to talk with that person or commit yourself, ask them one simple question. Sir, ma'am, in the future, would you support a budget that only appropriates or designates 92% of the projected refunds, projected income of all sources for next fiscal year, whereby there's an 8% reserve that we never touch, and just watch the politician lead very quickly.
I'll have to try that. Usually when I see somebody ask him a question is your power on? But, that was last week. This week, maybe I'll work on that. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Have a great morning. Now, I don't disagree with the idea. Lady D says, yeah, we're talking about RGov Guam, right? They're supposed to set up an account and pay into it, but they never have. 7:27 in the morning, and that might be another question for Mike St. this morning. So the Section 30 money should go into the tax refund fund, right? Arguably, there should be dollars that go there first before they get put into the tax refund checks. Is that your understanding of the law there, Kevin? Got to look.
I don't understand the law. So.
There is supposed to be a tax refund fund.
Right.
And the dollars are supposed to go from overpayments or whatever into that fund, and then the fund would pay the checks. It would be the one used to write the checks. Or is this just going to go into the general fund, and Ed Byrne going to be able to write checks based on that? I see you want me to call Ed and find out.
Let's give him a call and find out.
7:28 in the morning. We do have time for Jerry Robertson this morning's Extra Point.
I've heard it said that there are 3 kinds of people in the world. Are you ready to find out what kind you are? I'm Jerry Roberts, and maybe it's time we all get this figured out today on the Extra Point. So what are the 3 types of people? They are people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and then there's those who look up every once in a while and say, hey, what happened? Which one are you? Now, I don't have any hard numbers on the breakdown, but there's a fair amount of opinion that sees it as 10 to 15% of workers initiate action and make things happen. These are your top workers. An equal amount are counted in the group that don't initiate much, if anything, aren't highly productive, and do pretty much just the basics. The final group, the majority of workers, don't fit in either category. They have a high production day every so often, along with some low production days. But mostly, they show up, get their work done, and leave. You'd have trouble describing how their work and overall contribution is special. Now, if you think I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes imploring those who aren't interested in being highly productive to suddenly change, I'm not. While that would be great, that's a change that has to happen from within. People have to want to do that for their own reasons. This Extra Point is for those who want more. They want to be considered among the most productive workers, those who accept higher responsibility and deliver results. They want to be promoted more often and make more money. Maybe some of them need a little roadmap on how to get there. If so, here are a few tips. Do work without being told. If you finish one thing, don't wait for the boss to assign the next task. Instead, seek him or her out and let them know you're ready for more. Know your job better than anyone else. Do you know what others in your department do as well? Could you fill in for them in a pinch? That's a huge bonus. Look for ways to improve procedures and systems by asking questions and recommending solutions. Here's a big one. Volunteer for special projects. You can learn new things, have fun, do good work, and it's a great way to expand your network. It also introduces your energy and talents to a lot more people. That can open doors. It can land you mentors within your company and help you to become a go-to person who can be relied upon. You may also learn about new projects, and maybe you'll find one that excites you, or you can help somebody else hit their goals. Being part of such a project can catapult you into greater opportunities. You can join civic groups where you can work on projects with CEOs, other top managers, and business owners. Let them see how you initiate action and get things done. Be an action taker and a problem solver. There is simply not enough of them. You'll always be in demand. If this is what you want, get on it. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Thank you very much, Jerry. 7:31 in the morning. We'll get to headlines and traffic with Kevin Kerrigan on the other side of these.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
I failed to mention, if you like today's Jerry Roberts Extra Point, then go to GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web and see what we've got in store for you there. That episode and various other episodes that we've run in the past. A whole bunch of them, as we've got several months into the Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 The Point. 7:32 now. Headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Daily Post this morning, the Calvo administration this morning announcing that Guam's 2019 Section 30 check has arrived, and the governor has directed the Department of Rev and Tax and the Department of Administration to process and begin the disbursement of more tax refund checks. The U.S. Department of Interior issues the Section 30 check every year in the month of September before the beginning of the new fiscal year on October 1st. Its arrival generally heralds the start of a flood of tax refund payments. The check this year amounts to just over $77 million. First priority is to pay out to the investors who bought Guam bonds. The bulk of the rest should be paid out in tax refunds. In a release announcing the arrival of the Section 30 check this morning, the administration points out that they have doubled the amount of tax refunds and paid over 50% less in interest payments than the previous administration. However, no word yet on how much will be paid out in refunds or when those checks will go out. About $117,000 still owed to precinct officials, the Guam Election Commission, who worked during the primary election, while the GEC proceeds with preparations for the general election now. Precinct officials are also needed for the general election, but without payment, GEC may not be able to muster enough interest ahead of the elections in November. During Tuesday night's GEC board meeting, Chairwoman Alice Tyron asked Executive Director Maria Pangilinan to let precinct officials know that the commission was not getting the funding they need from the Bureau of Budget and Management. BBMR Director Lester Carlson, however, had sent a letter to the commission on Tuesday saying the commission was informed last May that the funds wouldn't be available due to the revenue losses as a result of the Trump tax cuts. He wrote the commission obligated more than $277,000 above authorized spending levels, despite notifications from BBMR that the funds would not be available. Mediation continues, but no settlement has been announced yet in the ongoing talks between the parties in the clergy sex abuse cases. Attorneys representing nearly 200 plaintiffs and the Archdiocese of Agana, the Boy Scouts, the Capuchin Friars, and the Sisters of Mercy are taking part in the process this week that got underway at an undisclosed location at the start of the week. The discussions have been kept completely confidential. The plaintiffs have agreed to participate in mediation as the church and other defendants try and reach potential settlements for the cases. The mediation is non-binding. That means any of the parties can back out and choose to proceed with their own cases. They're all scheduled to be back in court in November to provide an update on the mediation process. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thank you, Kevin. 7:36, that's iConnect time. Find out why they are the practical choice by calling 888-8888 and asking them about the incredible plans they've got for push-to-talk and mobile and internet plans. That's iConnect, the practical choice. Yes. New information from my friends over at Cold Stone Creamery. They are the ultimate ice cream experience, inviting you now to try banana bread battered ice cream. There's a new and exciting flavor they've got there, sea salt caramel ice cream. See, what's the matter? Can't do two things at once. Made with premium Ghirardelli sea salt caramel sauce in a new creation, or the Pice Cream Cake. Cold Stone Creamery now celebrating 30 years of the ultimate ice cream experience.
Cavo Select Care continues to provide great benefits for GovGuam with affordable rates. Get free access to our gym partners. Earn up to $300 with our gym fitness rewards. Earn up to $200 with our wellness rewards. Choose from a wider selection of medical providers on Guam and off island. With all of these benefits, staying with Cavo Select Care is that much easier.
Your email.
GovGuam employees and retirees, enroll today.
Starting to look busy out there. What have I got? Traffic, Route 16 from about the post office area, Barragata Heights, right into 8, 10, and 16. A little bit of traffic beginning to build on the way into 8, 10, and 16 off Route 8. If you're on Route 10 this morning, expect some delays around Price Elementary. It's that stupid intersection again. Somebody got to go out there and kick the electronics because it is making traffic back up for people that are trying to get through that particular intersection onto Route 15 and onto Derry. And then we look at Route 4. Looks pretty clear right up until you get around the Ordot area, and then it begins to lighten up into Sinahanya and Agania Heights. Agania Heights traffic looking pretty clear in front of Navy Hospital, but starting to build up in front of a Big Navy down in Sumai. What have I got here for you? Is there any more that you need to know about? Where is this mess coming from? Route 16 looks like from around the Micronesia Mall area all the way over to the intersection where McDonald's is. You might see a line of traffic moving through that area right now. That's right now traffic here at 738 on the point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
8 o'clock in the morning. It's Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 The Point. Busy morning here. Lots and lots to go through. And questions going on about the tax refunds. There were people chiming in about that early this morning saying, okay, what's the latest on the tax refunds? The latest news is Section 30 monies are in. A bucket of money needs to get paid to the bondholders. And then after all of that's done, we'll take whatever remains and turn that into tax refunds. How much is that going to be? I don't know. They left it out of the press release because they'd rather give the legislature a hard time about the Tran bill. We'll get confirmation and an exact amount before too much longer, and an idea on how long it will take for the governor's office to be able to turn those dollars into checks that they can send out. We'll see what we can find. There's a little bit of a conversation that one of the listeners called in about and asking, didn't we set that aside? Why do we have to wait for tax refunds or Section 30 funds to come in? Instead of being able to take care of this based on overpayments that come in on a going forward basis. Simon Sanchez chimes in on the Facebook Live, says every budget passed reserves $130 million plus or minus for refunds. So there is a budgetary reserve. However, budgets aren't the same as cash flow. Budgets is what you hope will happen. Cash flow is what actually happens. Section 30 is counted as annual revenue, but it only comes in once a year in terms of cash flow. So when Section 30 comes in as actual cash, GG catches up on obligations such as refunds. Every month, GG cash flow ebbs and flows. Some month you can only cover some, but not all the bills, including the refunds. Some months, like April, when taxes are due to be paid, and some weeks, like GRT and payroll, when they, like April, when taxes are due to be paid, and some weeks, like GRT and payroll tax payments, when they are paid, result in GG cash going up. But then GG pays its payroll and bills, including tax refunds. When more money is short, they pay slower. It's been like this for many, many years. So there's the short version of what happens with monies that are so-called set aside in the government of Guam. You got to pay payroll, you got to pay the insurance, you got to pay retirement, all of these other costs in a system that need to get paid. Yesterday, spent a little bit of time with Attorney Doug Moylan in his War Eagle stance with the Guam Election Commission and Leevin Camacho. And it looks like I've got Leevin Camacho on the line now. Good morning, Leevin.
Hi, good morning, Ray.
It's always nice to hear from you, and I think maybe now's a good time for us to get caught up and find out about a couple of things. I'm a little bit fuzzy on the nature of the scrap between you and Doug. It just has something to do with undistributed child support dollars that go back to when he was the Attorney General the first time around?
Yeah, I mean, actually, before I get into that, on this issue about tax refunds, I know everyone wants to hear about the tax refunds, but there was actually a case back in 2014. I'm sure you remember Senator Pangilinan was around, and he filed about the tax refund reserve fund and the tax refund efficient payment trust fund, and whether or not those funds could be tapped and used to pay for general obligations. And the Supreme Court said, that money should not be touched and used to pay for general obligations. So we're kind of still back in the same problem 4 years after that decision was issued. So it is an interesting question about whether or not that money should be transferred out of those reserve funds.
Mike Sinicolas has been banging the drum on behalf of the late speaker at the legislature recently, chiding the administration for their inability, their lack of use of that fund.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about that. So going back to your question, though.
Well, no. Let's stay there for just a second, because we can do the tit for tat a little bit later on between you and Doug. Well, we've got 47 more days before the election, so I'm sure we'll have ample opportunity between here and there to witness the running skirmish. So if there is law and in fact a court ruling that says that the monies for tax refunds should be set aside and cannot be used for other purposes, then why does it continue to happen?
I think it comes down to a matter of enforcement. This is a decision that was actually a request that the legislature submitted to the Supreme Court of Guam. The opinion is 2014 Guam 15. I just opened it up, and we're talking about it on the radio, and I'm looking through it. But a lot of the issues that we're talking about, and I understand, I'm very familiar with Mr. Simon Sanchez, and I know he's with the CCU, but we have designated, there are laws out there that are meant to set money aside to be held in trust for the specific purpose of paying back trust refund or tax refunds, so we don't have these types of issues.
Well, what you're hitting on is something that we have been witness to more and more recently, and that is the use of so-called special funds, lockbox funds, that clearly should not have been commingled with general funds or otherwise appropriated from into the general fund. I mean, that happened at the Chamorro Land Trust Commission to the tune of more than $500,000. It happened with the E911 funds, and those are just the two that are lingering at the top of my head.
It actually happened with these undistributed child support funds, I believe, last year, right? Which kind of brings us back to your original question.
Yeah. So how is that possible? What is the enforcement capability of say the public auditor or the Attorney General's office to be able to take that branch of government now and smack them on the hand and say, don't touch that. That's somebody else's piggy bank.
Yeah, that is an interesting question. I think procedurally it was the legislature that filed. It was kind of just a request for clarification on whether or not the governor was allowed to, by law, take funds out, even though there was legislation saying that he could not do that. And again, the Supreme Court resolved that and said you're not supposed to use these trust funds or these special funds for general obligations. So then the question is going to be, well, who has the standing or who has the ability to enforce that provision of law? Right? Is it the legislature? Is it the Attorney General? Is it the public auditor? I think that's a very real discussion that needs to happen if we're seeing this problem arise year after year, 4 years after we've received that Supreme Court decision.
Yeah. Is that something that you are actively looking into as you were the #1 vote getter in the primary election for the Attorney General's office? I mean, this sounds like one of those things that ought to be part of a platform.
Well, I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm really excited about the support that we have in the primary. But just as being a lawyer, I've been practicing law for 12 years now. I try to keep up to date with important legal issues such as tax refund cases that are being brought before the Supreme Court. I actually went in and sat in on an argument because it was a very interesting question. I agree with the caller earlier that if I'm overpaying taxes, well, that money should be held and then we should tap into it to pay back. But that is the law. That's the way that it should work. It's just not happening. And I think it's going to be looking at partnerships and talking with the next administration to see if that is going to be followed and complied with, or if we're going to have this problem moving forward and then taking steps from there.
Yeah, there should be a mechanism where if something happens along those lines, and if it's somebody at the Department of Administration for whatever reason, and you remember, I can't remember the lady's name, but at the legislature she was saying, well, which law do you want me to break? The law about lockbox funds, or the one about I got to pay people when they work.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that ends up being pretty interesting. You were the subject, you and Doug, I think, are subject of a story in one of the TV stations where they had asked you about your assessment of the Tenorio case moving forward from here. I'd talked to a couple of people with JDs and thought maybe a plea agreement might be the way to go. I wasn't so sure about that because I'm not sure what it is that they believe that Ray Tenorio and his legal team might have to offer in some kind of a plea agreement. But where do you think this is going to be going next?
Well, Ray, I think the first thing to point out is that the complaint was actually filed in August, right? And it's making the news now, and it took some time before a judge, I think it was pro temp judge Maria Fitzpatrick, who ended up signing it.
Yeah, the judicial 10-foot pole was quite visible in the last few days.
Right. Well, and I think even in terms of the timing, we know from national politics that we want to treat everybody the same, but then you have an election coming up, and you look at the last presidential election where news breaks about potential criminal activity 2 weeks before an election, and there are questions over whether or not law enforcement was trying to influence an election one way or the other. So you have to kind of respect the predicament that Attorney General Barrett Anderson was in. Do you file it a week or two before the primary? Do you wait for the week after the primary? But then at that point, you just have to have faith that the criminal justice system is going to run its process.
Well, and the process, unfortunately, moves rather slow. So no matter what, I mean, and my understanding is that Attorney Fisher wants to take this into court, into open court, rather than go through some kind of a plea arrangement.
Yeah,
wants to be able to prove his client's innocence.
That is his right, and we do have a presumption of innocence until you're proven guilty. Even if Lieutenant Governor Tenorio were to want a speedy trial, he's not. I think you have up to 60 days before the court is required to set one for you. So we're looking at this happening. It's very likely, even if he asserts it's going to happen after the general election.
The fuzzy thing, and people ask me about this, and maybe it's just such a basic question, but didn't he already admit to going to the police officer and taking the gun out of his hands?
Again,
out of the holster, he apologized for it over and over again, and so isn't that an admission of that those things that he is accused of he did?
And again, just in my experience, and I've been on the other side, I've done criminal defense work for a decade now. There are lots of cases where defendants will give a confession or make an admission, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be denied the process, right? This whole process. He's entitled to a jury of 6 if he wants one. He's entitled to cross-examine witnesses and sure those statements that he made, and I believe that's why they've subpoenaed news footage or news interviews, because all of those could be admissions that would be admissible as evidence at trial. But you don't get to run around the criminal justice system because someone's made public statements.
Just because of that.
Certain conduct.
I see what you're saying. Another question I'm getting a whole lot of, and former Senator Klitsky, afternoon radio host, suggests the reason why it is absent in the complaint that has been filed is because he thinks it is de minimis, I think is the word that he used. And this, of course, in reference to people asking, what about the felony side of it? The lieutenant governor had in his hand for a short period of time, admittedly, a firearm that he was not licensed to carry. What are your thoughts on the absence of the felony charge?
I think any prosecutor, you have to look at whether there's probable cause to support that the crime's been committed, but then you also have to be thinking about, well, what if this case goes to trial? What can I prove, right? So it's not just about, well, what can I charge as many things as I can, and then hope that some of them stick at trial. That's not really a level-headed way of approaching it. You look at the evidence, you review the evidence, and you make a call. What crimes have been committed, and what am I going to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt at trial? And you need to have that confidence when you charge, especially in a case that's going to be high profile.
Yeah.
And a repeat of filing indictments and magistrate complaints and things getting acquittal, right?
it feels kind of technical and very tactical, but I think there are a lot of people that have been watching this case, some that love Ray and some that don't love Ray, that are still surprised that it is not in there because primarily because of that admission. And anybody else, if I'd and I think that's the other thing. Anybody else, if it had happened to anybody else, maybe it's the high profile part of it that is messing people up. Would that charge have been in there? I mean, if it had been you and I, stumbling around the block party and pulled the gun out of a police officer's belt, do you suppose that felony would have been included in there?
I have to, the people who have all the evidence before them is Attorney General Barrett Anderson, and I believe the charging attorney was James Collins. So I'm not going to second guess their decisions based on a review of all the evidence that is available, evidence that we may not have access to. So if they looked at the evidence and they did not feel that there was enough to file a felony charge, if I'm elected, sure, you go back in there and you kind of maybe you reassess. But as of right now, I think it's very difficult to say, well, I don't agree with the charges, Rob, because we don't have everything.
Maybe Jimmy just forgot. Maybe that's why I say it.
I'm pretty sure he didn't forget anything.
I know. I just messing around.
That I've seen filed.
So I'm moving into another subject, and I got the answer from Doug when I was talking to him, and I'd like yours. Is we've got these arrests that have been made, laundromat arrests, and the guys that were walking around with machetes and banging bats on people's cars up in Datado got arrested. I'd like to see them deported right away as soon as we find them guilty. If that's the case, I'd like to see that they are deported right away. There are others in the legal community that suggest that no, you've committed a crime on Guam. You serve your time on Guam, and then we will deport you. I'm not sure that I'm crazy about that idea. Which side of the fence are you on there?
Yeah, I say for violent crimes and sex crimes, absolutely, I would support deportation under federal law. But I think that these cases really are raising a bigger issue. And going back to the lieutenant governor's case, we want everyone to be treated fairly, right? And I'm a firm believer that everyone needs to be held equal to the law. And I think it's irresponsible to be advocating a policy of prosecution that singles out people of a specific nationality or place of origin when you're prosecuting crimes, right? So I would support deportation in cases that it's justified under federal law, but in no way would I ever implement a policy to target people who are from the Federated States of Micronesia.
I don't know that we would be targeting them. I don't know if that's the way I'm seeing it in my head, as much as you are here as a guest and become now a burden on the community. And I think there should be the option for us to be able to say you've worn out your welcome around here, and I don't know whether you want to make it 3 strikes you're out or 1 strike you're out. But I think the community is tired of the burden at this point and are worried that it is going to escalate further. And there needs to be a message that gets sent out.
Well, and Governor Calvo is doing that. But I think really what this raises a question is people aren't feeling safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods any longer, right? And I'd say the gut reaction.
I feel safe because I carry a gun on me all the time. That's why I feel safe. But I recognize that there's a whole lot of other people that are we're buying more locks for the doors. I talked to the guys at the security company, and they seem to be busy with installations these days.
Well, but it's a complex issue, Ray. Public safety is a big issue, but it's not a simple one that we just deport people who've committed crimes. I think you look at the news and you look at drug use and how much that's impacted our community, right? What is a bigger threat to our island? People who are migrating to Guam or the ICE epidemic? And I would say if I had to choose one to tackle, I would much rather focus resources on battling the meth epidemic here on the island, and property crimes, and you look at the way that stories are reported, and you have a robbery that's committed by a local family. No one's saying send them somewhere else, right? They're not our problem, right? Or you look at someone who's committed by someone coming from the States. We don't say send everyone who's from States back to the continental United States, right? So, and that's what I'm talking about. You need to be able to apply things equally. And we have laws in place to punish people. And there also are laws that would say certain people are in offenses, you're going to be deportable.
Fair point. let's go back to the basis of this, and that would be the compacts, the treaties between the federal government of the United States and these island nations, for which Guam is not necessarily a party to. As Attorney General, how would you find us a way to get a seat at that table so that we can talk about the burden on this community as an immigration target location, number one, and the fact that I don't believe that we have been fairly compensated for that. I think, in fact, I'm sure the Department of Interior agrees that we have not been fairly compensated for the burden around here. How do we get a seat at that table, Leevin?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I think this goes back to Guam's status as a territory, right? I was reading in the news about this $14 million in compact impact assistance of the $30 million that's available. And I would say someone who's lived here, you understand the impact so much greater than what we're receiving from the federal government.
Sure.
But I think on the flip side of things, we don't see, it's the United States, the federal government, that has entered into this compact with the Federated States of Micronesia as a specific example, right? That's it, that they're giving them the ability to move into the United States or to migrate to the United States legally for a reason, and the FSM has the ability. They're giving something up too, in order to. But there's a bargain for. There's something that's being bargained for, right? So we have to figure out. I think you have to look at partnering with the FSM and figuring out a way, because one of the issues that I think is with the commutation of sentences, or basically ending a sentence and setting someone free, is you said, okay, you've committed this terrible crime. I'm just going to put you on a plane and send you off, and you're not our problem anymore, right? So maybe looking at ways that you can transfer people from prison here on Guam to the FSM so they can serve the duration of their sentence there instead of being here on the island, right? So those are things that I think you need to have a conversation with government to make, whether it's through the compact, whether it's through just reaching out and trying to create more partnerships in the region. But it is a problem that needs to be addressed, and it's one that goes much far beyond just the criminal justice system.
I got a couple of folks here. I don't know if you know this guy. Dave Torrey says, Leevin Camacho for AG. I'm not sure if you guys know each other. Elwin Chimpaco says, I'm starting to like this guy. So I'm glad that we had some time to talk on the radio. Leevin Camacho, appreciate your time, and we'll talk again soon. Good luck on the campaign trail. 47 more days. I'll see you, buddy. A couple of minutes away from 8 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG Hagåtña, headquarters for Fox News Live. What do we got coming up for you? Let me see what I can scare up. There's a few more little words of wisdom from Simon Sanchez up on the Facebook Live this morning, so you might want to check in on that. Just go to Facebook and go to The Point. Look for The Point. It's got my picture on it, and go to the website, the page, and click on that. Like the page, follow the page. That way, every morning when we turn on the Facebook Live feature and soon the YouTube Live feature, every morning when we turn that on, you'll get a note that we're live and online, and you can watch the show, or like Neats and Lady D and Simon Sanchez and Elwin, you can participate in the direction of the show just by leaving your comments right there on the page. As I said, this KUSG Hagåtña 93.3 The Point coming up. We'll pretend to talk about sports with Blake Watson, and we'll see if we can find out about how much money is going to be put in the pile for tax refunds here. That's all ahead on The Point.
Surveying the damage. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump touring the storm-ravaged Carolinas today.
We are behind you from day one, from 3 days ago, and now it looks nice, but it's really the calm before the storm.
The president in Conway, South Carolina. Earlier, he handed out meals and spoke to residents of North Carolina, where Governor Roy Cooper said he intends to hold the president to his promise to support his state in what's expected to be a long recovery after Florence. President Trump's choice for the Supreme Court is ready to go before a Senate committee Monday, but there's no word yet whether the woman who accuses him of sexual misconduct when they were teens will also testify.
Judge Kavanaugh's accuser, Dr. Ford, has until 10 a.m. Friday to let Congress know once and for all if she's actually going to come and testify. The Judiciary Committee Chairman, Chuck Grassley, wrote her another letter where he says she can have an open hearing, she can have a closed hearing, or she can just get questioned by congressional staff. And it doesn't even have to happen here. Staffers will go wherever it's convenient for Dr. Ford.
Fox's Peter Ducey on Capitol Hill. New information after a mass shooting outside a software company outside Madison, Wisconsin. Fox's Cornell Scott has more live.
Lisa, Middleton, Wisconsin police say the shooter, who they aren't giving an ID for, opened fire in an office building, wounding 3 people. Chief Charles Folk says 4 officers went in after the suspect, 2 of his and 2 Dane County deputies. They fired on the shooter.
The suspect was stopped by those responding police officers. Very heroic in their actions.
Chief Falk says a motive has not been determined yet, but the shooter, who worked at the business, used a semi-automatic pistol with several backup magazines to reload. That investigation is continuing, Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. In Pennsylvania, a person confirmed dead, 4 hurt in a shooting outside a judge's office. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. More services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
The man charged in the murder of Iowa college student Molly Tibbetts arraigned on first-degree murder charges.
24-year-old Christian Rivera, a Mexican national, is accused of stalking, abducting, and fatally stabbing 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts in July. Investigators say Rivera led them 1 month later to her body in an Iowa cornfield, though during his arraignment today in Poweshiek County and through his lawyer.
Mr. Rivera pleads not guilty.
Is that correct, Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
The illegal immigrant, who police say used a stolen identity to work as a farmhand, faces life in prison if convicted. A trial date is also set for April of next year. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban has announced he will donate $10 million to help women in sports and raise awareness about domestic violence after an investigation found numerous incidents of sexual harassment within the franchise. Former FBI Director James Comey's book deal appears to be closer to hitting the small screen.
Comey was fired by President Trump in May of 2017. His best-selling book will be adapted into a miniseries, though it has not been determined on which CBS platform it would air, CBS All Access, Showtime, or CBS. Comey was the first high-ranking official from Washington to take on President Trump. The book claims, among many things, that the president expressed to him frustration over the investigation into possible Russian collusion and over the FBI's unwillingness to prosecute Hillary Clinton for her handling of emails. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
U2's Bono describing Pope Francis as being aghast about sex abuse in the Catholic Church. He met privately with Francis today at the Vatican Hotel where the Pope lives to talk about capitalism and sustainable development. He says he told Francis how it looks like some abusers are more protected than victims and said that after making the comment, the Pope had pain on his face. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Calvo administration this morning announcing that Guam's 2019 Section 30 check has arrived, and the governor has directed the Department of Rev and Tax and the Department of Administration to process and begin the disbursement of more tax refund checks. The Department of Interior issues the Section 30 check every year in September before the beginning of the new fiscal year starts on October 1st. Its arrival generally heralds the start of a flood of tax refund payments. The check this year amounts to just over $77 million. First priority is to pay the investors who bought Guam bonds, but the bulk of the rest will be paid out in tax refunds. In the release announcing the arrival of the Section 30 check this morning, the administration points out that they've doubled the amount of tax refunds paid and sent out or paid out less than 50% in interest payments than the previous administration did. No word yet, however, on how much will be paid out in refunds to Guam taxpayers or when those checks will go out. It's been more than 3 weeks since the last refund checks went out on August 27th. To date, roughly $76 million has been paid out in refunds covering error-free returns only through part of February 15th. Administration is racing to meet a court-ordered deadline to pay all of the tax refunds owed to island taxpayers by October 15th. A team of disaster inspectors from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the U.S. Small Business Administration began assessing the damage done to homes by Typhoon Mangkhut yesterday. They spent most of the day visiting neighborhoods in Dededo where they saw homes that had lost their roofs and the soggy remains of what was left inside. FEMA spokesman Peter Sessom advised residents to take pictures of the damage to their homes. If a federal disaster declaration is issued, homeowners need to provide proof of damage by showing pictures in order to qualify for relief funds. Don't wait to clean up, he said. Take pictures now and start on the road to recovery. We'll have more news after this.
The first ever of anything is always special. That's why we're excited about the first ever 2018 Nissan Kicks. The Kicks kicks things up with best-in-class MPG, standard safety technology with automatic emergency braking system, and best-in-class cargo space to meet any lifestyle. Upgrades kicks things up with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bose driver headrest speakers. Over 1.4 million colorful options means your Kicks can be a first ever of its kind. The Kicks starts at under $20,000. Visit Nissan Guam for a test drive today. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. Guam Community College and the GCA Trades Academy will begin accepting applications today from recent high school graduates interested in free courses in the construction and tourism industries. The U.S. Department of the Interior is covering the cost of tuition with 2 grants totaling nearly $1 million. GCC offering free courses for 90 qualified students in hospitality and tourism, as well as cook and food service certifications. The Trades Academy will be accepting 103 students who will get tuition-free training in construction industry skills. Working families now have the opportunity to put their children through school at a higher level, said Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, who announced the program yesterday during a press conference at Adelup. Education Board Chairman Mark Mendiola urged recent high school graduates to apply, saying there is no way to break the cycle of poverty but through higher education. Priority goes to U.S. citizens who are 2018 or 2017 high school graduates. To apply, contact the Trades Academy or Guam Community College. A bill setting new, more stringent requirements for anyone appointed to be customs director got a hearing at the legislature yesterday, but no one from the administration or anywhere else showed up to testify about it. Bill 337 requires the Director of Customs to be at least 35 years old with 15 or more years of experience in a customs agency and 3 years in a senior customs position or the equivalent management experience. The appointee also must have a bachelor's degree or higher in criminal justice law, public administration, or a related field. Public Safety Chair Senator Talina Nelson introduced the bill following her decision not to forward the nomination of then acting Customs Director Eric Palacios out of her committee over questions about his lack of experience and past conduct. Palacios' acting term has since expired. He's been replaced by George Charfurus, who also continues to serve as the administration's civil defense advisor. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike will look at weather.
We've been looking at the weather virtually all morning long, and we'll look at the weather radar and tell you what's coming in right now in just a second. But what you can expect today, mostly cloudy skies, some isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming scattered this evening. East winds up to about 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Highs today, 88 degrees. Max afternoon heat index, it'll feel like 100, so brace yourself for the heat. Overnight lows today of about 78 degrees. Now, I'm hoping, I got my fingers crossed here, that the rain that is supposed to be falling most of the weekend will make an earlier appearance to keep the temps down today, because frankly I'm tired of hot afternoons.
Yeah, it's been really hot the last 2 or 3 days, and I'm not sure it's going to make much of a difference today, but I think tomorrow, as we'll start to notice things really cooling off and getting wetter. Right now, checking the radar, just some isolated stuff blowing through. It's on the north side of that trough and low pressure area down to our southeast. That's 92W Invest, and the satellite really shows quite an ominous spectacle down there, and I'm already starting to see a little rotation in the clouds, so I would not be surprised if this is named a tropical depression even by the end of today.
Really?
Yeah, you can clearly see some rotation there. It's just a matter if it's a closed circulation, and it may not be. It may still be elongated, and the National Weather Service has a little bit of a different definition of a tropical depression as compared to, say, JMA, which is actually the headquarters for the meteorology.
I just need it to keep moving west. That's
the thing.
It's
going to track west-northwest. It's going to kind of cross over us, and then what happens and where it exactly goes determines, in a large part, just how much rain we get over the next several days.
All right, so anticipate all of that and questions. Trust, if you need, we'll be here. Sunset tonight at 6:18. We'll watch the sunrise together tomorrow morning at 10 after, and Sunday morning at 11:54 a.m. It is the autumnal equinox.
That's right, the equinox. Yep.
Blake, what's the equinox?
The autumnal equinox, that is where it's the shortest day of the year, right?
No.
No, that's in December.
Equal days.
Is this where you can balance the egg on its end because the Earth's tilt? I'm serious. Why are you laughing?
No, that doesn't exist.
That does exist. Yes, it does. I did it in 8th grade. Don't tell me. I mean, I did it in 8th grade science class.
All right. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about talking about tax refunds for a couple of minutes because, frankly, this is going to be a more interesting conversation. 8:15 in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Join us for Coast 360's 4th annual Eat Coast Run and Family Fair on Saturday, September 22nd at the Might Team Member Center. Showtime at 5:30 a.m., go time at 6 a.m. 360 flasks to the first 180 male and 180 female finishers. And the first 1,500 finishers get a quick dry performance hat. Register now at Coast 360 Member Centers and Goodies Sporting Goods. Stick around for the Eco Family Fair with food, fun, great prizes, and entertainment. See you at the 2018 Eat Coast Run and Family Fair.
Hey, go to King's for lunch. That's what it's Thursday. And meatloaf for Thursday lunch. That's the big special over at King's. And we like talking about meatloaf at King's because it means that tomorrow is Friday. I mean, it's good meatloaf. You're going to love eating it. But it's, in my mind, the mental signal that we've made it to Thursday and that we're one step away from the weekend. And even though they're talking about it being a rather wet weekend, it's still the weekend. So celebrate early with lunch at King's.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
Yes, portions of the program also brought to you by all kinds of folks. Guam Regional Medical City, APL, that's American President Line, Ship in the Future, American Water Tech, Smarter Water, Better Water, and MRE. That's Micronesia Renewable Energy. Yeah, these guys are fantastic. Never a better time to go solar. You know what I got a chance to do last night? I got a chance to stand next to. I wasn't able to actually get inside of it, but I got a chance to stand next to the 2019 Lexus ES350. They had a launch event over at the Sandcastle last night. A lot of Lexus owners, chamber people, and GHRA, just pillars of society in there, and they all got a chance to take a look at the new car. In fact, one guy, Alan Pangilinan, gets what's called it's an overnight test drive. Or guest drive, so he gets give him the car and gets to keep it overnight. And so if you'd like to see this ES350, find out when Alan is going to be on the back road to Anderson. Take it out for a ride, see what this thing does. You want one? Then go buy a raffle ticket on sale right now at Atkins Kroll. The drawing for this is going to be September the 22nd at the Red Crosses Red Ball. You need not be present to win.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
All right. At 8:18 this morning, and there's supposed to be sports here in just a but we're not going to get there because we have to search now on the World Wide Web for egg balancing. I have it right here. You've got it? Turn on.
Coincidentally enough, I don't have a mic.
Oh, no, he's got it.
I'm just kidding. They're trying to shut me down, Ray. They don't want you to know what I know.
The man holding you down, bro.
The man is burning you down.
Here we go. It is believed that during the equinox, an egg can balance on in. This is more myth than science, but every year during the equinox, the question arises. Yes, with a little patience, you can balance an egg on in during the equinox. What will happen if you try to balance the egg on March 21st or April 20th or October 2nd? The egg will balance the same on any day as it does on the vernal or autumnal equinox. It helps if you try it on a rough surface or choose an egg with a bumpy end for better balance. The myth comes from an assumption that during the equinox, a special gravitational balance exists. The equinox is about balanced light, not balanced eggs or special gravity.
Right, yeah.
So it's not that you can balance an egg. It's the tilt of the Earth that makes it possible. But I guess the science of the whole point of the situation is not the egg. It's the fact that
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, gravity draws towards the center of the Earth no matter what time of year it is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it's not because, it's just, Yeah. So there you go.
Snopes is calling it a myth.
Really?
Yeah, but the point is they're saying, as you might have said, the deal is you can any day of the week.
Yeah.
There's any time you want to.
It's
take
really hard
and make it stand on a thing, and it will.
I've never seen this in real life, but I've also heard of broomsticks in the same science experiment.
Correct.
You can do, instead of an egg, people try to balance it.
Hearing that as well and seeing it on the Snopes thing. All right, so
there you go.
I thought it was going to be more fun than that, but it didn't apparently work out that way.
I do know, though, you can balance a baseball on a tabletop on the autumnal equinox.
There you go.
Oh, it won't roll? Like you just set it down and
Yeah.
it won't. Yeah, cool. I did not know that.
Got a note here from our friend Frank over at KFC. Says, if Blake is still out and you need some sports to talk about, here are the results of the GHRA Volleyball Championship Recreational Division. City Hill beat the Bank of Guam, looks like 25-16, 25-17. And in the Varsity Division Championships, IT&E beat Nissan 24-26, 25-10, and 15-8. And there you go. Now, I know that there was...
Those are fun games, by the way, because everybody just goes out there for fun. You know, it's competitive, obviously, but everybody works together. They're going out there. They have a good time.
Is there Budweiser?
You probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe even during the game. I don't know.
As opposed to the big IIAG matches last night, and like I said, I was at this launch event for the IS350, right?
Uh-huh.
And was talking with a buddy of mine who works over at Bank of Hawaii. I said, "Are you going to stick around for the show?" He says, "I've never seen the Zubrik show. Are you going to stick around for it?" He says, "Yeah, I'd really like to, but my daughter's playing in the volleyball game
over at St. John.
No, it was the other one, the Academy game.
Oh, okay, that one also I think got rescheduled. Got moved
So,
as well,
so I think there's a whole lot there to talk about. So it's time now at 8:21 for Sports with Blake. Hey, I see Yuka Oguma is online on Facebook Live right now. From over at Guan Insurance. Go and visit Yuka and talk to them about insurance, and I believe she will give you a gift certificate to the coffee place next door. No, in the building.
What kind of insurance?
Insurance.
All insurance?
Everything except for getting bit by your own dogs. I think that's the.
Do they have dog?
They might not have that particular policy there, but you might want to ask. Okay. You know, but that brings up a good question. If I was a guy in the insurance business, and I don't know, Yuka, while you're on, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Can I get from you guys a policy? Say for example, you know, everybody's telling me I need a new dog. Mm-hmm. Right, because Pago passed away October last year, and I've been heartbroken ever since.
You want a bulldog?
No, I don't want your bulldog. It's already proven. Maybe I do. He's already proven to be a mean dog.
Would you just by yourself? No,
he already has the taste of human flesh. You don't want that, though.
If it was just you and her, you'd be fine.
But the thing is, as you pointed out yesterday, you got in the middle of the dogs because you didn't want to have to deal with vet bills and vet time.
And foolishly, I've done it before and been fine. So that's really why.
So the question is for Yuka is do you have a policy for dogs and cats? So because I've had that where I've had a dog that was really, really sick and I ended up losing him. But even though the dog died, I still had to pay the vet bill. I think that should be a thing. If your dog dies, you don't have to pay anymore.
You know what's really, I think, one of the most expensive things you can do is, like, for people who don't just, come home, see their dog passed away and bury it in the backyard, people who actually go to the vet to get it cremated or, just put it down at
Rainbow
the vet.
Bridge. The guy's done did Mocha when Mocha died.
Yeah, but even still, that's no easy just thing to pay for. You know, it's not cheap to put your dog down.
So I was only given a handful of ashes of my father, and I put those with the dog ashes. That's
the
okay,
dog.
right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Papa enjoy it.
Yeah, get a kick out of that.
8:23. Booney Dog writes, sad news in the MMA. Kid Yamamoto passed away from cancer. According to Bleacher Report, Yamamoto was getting cancer treatment on Guam when he passed away. So our condolences to the family and friends and fans of Kid Yamamoto.
He spent a lot of time here. He's got I think he had a deeply connected with Purebred, which is the local one of the local jiu-jitsu dojos, and I know he had two sisters who were very accomplished wrestlers and fighters as well, and they trained out of here. So if you look at his Instagram, it's him training at Spike 22. There's him at a couple, I think maybe he was hanging out with IT&E one time. Maybe he was drinking some coffee, and I don't think via sponsorship or anything like that. He was just kind of taking in the sights and sounds of Guam. If you go to his Instagram, it's him and some people just hanging out at places that you'll recognize here on island. So yeah, he was seen actually, I believe, within the last month down in Tumon, looking frail, surgical mask and all that. So yeah, he had been spending some time here because of family and because of friends and because of training and all that. So
cancer sucks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think it took him out in a month. I think he was diagnosed at the beginning of August, and I don't know if that's when he announced it.
Dude,
I don't
that'll
know.
happen.
Yeah,
that'll happen. It happened to my father 3 weeks after he was diagnosed. He was gone.
That's so. It's crazy.
Absolute heartbreaker. You don't have a lot of time to deal with that kind of a life change. At any rate, happier news here. What do we got on the sports scene?
On the sports scene, happier news. If you are a Notre Dame Royal fan, I did not get the Academy score. So if anybody wants to please contribute that, you're more than welcome. Hit us up on the Facebook or give us a call. But the Indy Lady Royals undefeated reigning champion. They waltzed into the St. John Dale J. Jenkins Gymnasium last night as a rematch from last year's title game. Revenge on the mind for the St. John Lady Knights. And they lose their second of the season as they drop 3 wild sets. The 2 top teams battled it out. It was an instant classic by all reports of everybody that was there. ND, they edge out the red and white 31-29, which means that one was a definite nail biter. It went all the way to 31 points because, in volleyball, they got to win by 2.
Yep.
22-25, that's the one Notre Dame lost, and then they pick it back up in the third set, 26-24, and they waltz off with still an undefeated record. And that's pretty much all I got.
Very cool.
From last night.
Well, obviously, there'll be more. I want to send out happy birthday greetings to Naomi Santos. You might recognize the name as if
former beauty queen?
No, she's still beautiful.
Still beautiful.
Yeah, she can still be a beauty
I have
queen.
a picture of her on my desk, weirdly enough. I have Frank Santos. I think it's Frank. I don't know. One of her longtime photographers
next to his wife's picture.
No. Hear me out. One of her longtime photographers, or maybe a pageant photographer, when she was holding the tiara. When she was actually holding the title. And they put her picture on the business card.
Yeah.
So the business card I have,
is it with her picture?
It just happens to be a trading card of a beauty queen. So you flip it over, it's got the information I need. Then you flip it over, and it's a picture of Naomi with her crown on and all that.
Yeah. So beauty queen Naomi Santos celebrating her birthday today. She's also a swimsuit model, also a fitness instructor.
I'm going to
trainer.
add something else that is very little known about her, and
like a master's degree or something, right?
And we both cut our teeth in this realm together. We are Junkin Po hosts as well. We hosted a Junkin Po contest together.
Well, we should do that.
Yeah.
We should totally do that.
It was a lot of fun. It was me, her at Skinner's Plaza back when you could hang out at Skinner's Plaza and not be, behind the museum.
You still can. You
Yeah,
just got to avoid the food trucks.
Yeah, and avoid the big movie screen.
Cazendo says ND St. John's School game was awesome. He's got the hand clapping on the deal here this morning. And you're always welcome to call in and tell me what else is going on. Big deals this weekend as far as the 5Ks are concerned. We've got the E-Coast Run and Family Fair that's going to be taking place early on Saturday morning. Showtime is at 5:30 for this race over at Coast 360. I encourage you to get there earlier. You'll want to walk around, especially if you haven't registered. Make sure you get the registration. But parking is going to be a bear. They found some people in the area that are going to be doing parking. No word yet on whether First Hawaiian Bank will open up their parking lot for Coast 360. I think it'll all be done by that time. But
they're nice over there.
Well, they're all twins. They're neighbors, so they're real cool about that. But make sure you get there early. Go time is going to be at 6 o'clock. You can sign up at Coast 360 locations. I believe Goodies will still have some. And worst comes to worst, go to the Coast 360 website, and there should be a registration form that you can download there. And then there is another one here, the Run to Give, which is going to be taking place on Sunday. So this rain or shine, guys. This is all rain or shine. I don't care what the weather report says. If it rains, we train. So you've got an opportunity to line up 2 5Ks and get some fast running in over the weekend. The Run to Give is going to be at the it'll be at Epal Beach Park at showtime at 5:30, go time 6 o'clock on Sunday, the 29th. And that's cool because I have not run in an Epal race in a long time. So I might want to see if I can get both of these in here. Registration at Weston, at the Hornet, and at Sheraton.
Very cool, very cool. Are you familiar with the duck race? Victims, advocates reaching out?
I'm not.
Navarro?
Are they having one this weekend too?
Not this weekend, but the 29th. But the only reason I'm pointing it out is it's a fun run. It's not just a race. So it's a 2K, 5K. It's the Duck Carnival as well. Will run. It's going to be at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa on Saturday 29th. Games and activities for kids. Costume contest for the best dressed duck. The duck race will begin at 8:30 a.m. by the poolside. Fun run showtime 5:30. Go time 5K. For the 6 a.m. for the 5K and 6:15 for the 2K.
Tomorrow's Friday. There's going to be football tomorrow.
There's going to be football tomorrow. I almost called them your Tritons. Your Friars. What are they again? Yeah, the Friars.
I'm sorry, that's not what I was talking about. NFL. There's no NFL tomorrow. There's no Friday game.
No. No, yeah, there is. Hang on. I'll look.
Did they stop that?
There's a Thursday night game.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so the Thursday night game equals Friday on Guam.
I really hate Thursday night.
Thursday
games.
night
I think
game.
that's cool. I think that's fine once it gets closer to Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
but
and that's what they use. That's how they used to do it.
Yeah, and this whole Thursday, Saturday thing, it's like just do it on Sunday and then one or two.
And then one on Monday, right?
Is there not? There's not, actually. That's weird.
I was going to say, I did not see a Thursday.
Because there
night game
has
this
been.
week.
There has been.
They had last season.
Yeah. Well, there was last week. I don't know why. It's not showing up. I did want to ask you this if you saw
Trump.
this. I did want to ask you.
No, actually, there is. Yeah, 10:20, the Jets in Cleveland.
Okay, that's not showing up anywhere on ESPN.
Is that on your pick'ems? It should be on your pick'ems, right? Okay. All right. You want details on how to get to the pick'ems? Go to thepoint.gu on the World Wide Web. The information is there, as well as on our Point site on Facebook.
There you go.
All
yeah,
right.
and we got. I put a little message on there yesterday for the members to check out, talking a little bit about who's in the lead and other things. So
Y'all want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
BRJ.
we got a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, BRJ Guam's leading right now. I think he has 180 something points. But Blake and I actually.
I'm
lead in-
contesting all of this, by the way.
Yeah. Blake and I actually lead.
I am actually in the lead.
But you
lead
can't
with correct.
play.
Yeah,
I know,
we
I
lead
know.
with correct picks because
Yeah.
we picked 20 out of the 30 games correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and they're one game behind us in picks. But that's why the confidence points really count.
Mm-hmm.
But we can talk more about this.
All right, we'll get
tomorrow.
around to doing that. I just wanted to find out who was ahead here. 8:31 in the morning, and that's all the time we've got for sports. Even Sonny Cruz chiming in saying, yes, there is football tomorrow, so we'll line up on that and talk a little bit more about the pick'em process. Mike, is there still time for people to join the pick'em league that you've got going?
They can join, but
They're far behind, right?
Yeah. They would probably be too far behind now to even begin to catch up.
Okay, gotcha. Unless you're really good. Unless you're like Carl Pangolin. I mean,
They
that
pretty
good, you
much
know
have to get all their picks right from here on out.
Sorry, just calling him out. 8:32 in the morning. And as I said, that's all the time I got for sports here this morning. Blake's going to go finish the morning show at Star 101. Need the best music from Y2K to today. That's the radio station that you listen to. Kevin Kerrigan has got news coming up after these.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Looking to see if there's any weather that I need to tell you about this exact minute, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot at play right now on the traffic gizmo, so I'll wait until I've got something a little bit more timely scheduled. Coming up, we'll talk with folks from the Guam Young Professionals in the Chamber of Commerce. They've got a big leadership conference that's going to be coming up, and frankly, even though I know it's pointed in the direction of young professionals, this looks like something that I'd like to attend as well. We'll talk about that in a second, but right now, last look at headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Daily Post this morning: mediation continues, but no settlements announced yet in the ongoing talks between the parties in the clergy sex abuse cases. Attorneys representing nearly 200 plaintiffs in the Archdiocese of Agana, the Boy Scouts, the Capuchin Friars, and the Sisters of Mercy are all taking part in the process. The mediation talks got underway in an undisclosed location at the start of this week. The discussions have been kept completely confidential, and the parties have agreed not to talk about the ongoing talks. The plaintiffs have agreed to participate in the discussions as the church and other defendants attempt to reach a potential settlement for the cases. The mediation is non-binding, and that means any of the parties can still back out and choose to proceed on their own. They're all scheduled to go back into federal court in November to provide an update on the progress they've made during the mediation. A survey of the officers and staff at the Guam Police Department has found that a majority of those asked agree that GPD's leadership is doing the best it can given limited resources. However, 46% of the 100 personnel who responded to the survey said they felt overworked. The vast majority of respondents agreed that supervisors kept them informed of important issues, but similarly, the vast majority of respondents also said they did not have sufficient personnel and resources to perform their duties. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau told the Guam Daily Post that The Command Climate Survey was conducted at the beginning of this month. It's not the first such survey. There have been a number since Police Chief J.I. Cruz took over the department. 32-year-old Mickinson Kitao is facing allegations of home invasion and family violence following his arrest at a residence in Jonyan Tuesday. According to the magistrate's complaint, Kitao struck a 30-year-old woman with a metal baseball bat, causing heavy bruises and possibly breaking her left arm. The victim told police that Kitao broke a window in the home with the bat and then chased another man out of the house who was in the bedroom. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
8:36. And for those of you watching on Facebook Live, wondering what the big deal was about this person I was wishing a happy birthday to, there's a picture of Naomi Santos in a bathing suit that you can see on her Facebook page. And if you visit her Facebook page, don't be a creep. Make sure that you mention that today is her birthday, and you heard me talking about it on the point. I'm going to leave that up there. Maybe for the rest of the show. It's 8:36 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. They are the practical choice, don't you know? You can go there and learn about mobile plans and internet plans, even push-to-talk, which is going to change the way that you do business, ladies and gentlemen. So I suggest that you give that a shot today by calling 888-8888.
Morico Equipment on Ipoh Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, boony dogs, boony grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morico Equipment also own Morico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
I got to tell everybody about hot pastrami. Speaking of hot, here's another picture of Naomi. Hot pastrami that they have over at, where's this at? Subway. Yeah. So it doesn't happen all the time. It's not like they make this a part of their regular menu. And so when it comes to Guam, everybody goes nuts. And we want to make sure that everybody is aware that it's there so you can go nuts. You got these lean cuts of pastrami-style beef. And then you put that on whatever bread you like. I like the wraps. I like to have that on the wrap. All my favorite condiments, jalapenos. And I like them to put the banana peppers and olives. My mouth water just talking about it here. It's hot pastrami. Find it today at Subway.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to come for you. Take care, take care, take care.
Yeah, buddy, it's 8:38 in the morning, and I need to tell you about something else that's going on that everybody should be excited about. It's a bunch of new flavors that they've got on ice creams over at Cold Stone. They're inviting you to try, check this out, banana bread battered ice cream. I'm sorry, you remember when they came out with the ice cream that tastes like cookie dough? Mm-hmm. And then, so you take it one step further, and we do the one now that tastes like banana bread batter, right? That's a great way to do ice cream. Sea salt caramel ice cream. And that one has got to be interesting because you don't normally envision salt with your ice cream, but imagine the savory that's going to go along with that. And they're using the good stuff. They're using Ghirardelli sea salt caramel sauce in this new creation. Cold Stone Creamery celebrating 30 years of the ultimate ice cream experience.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
Many of us have heard the words, "I'm sorry, but we have to let you go," or "you're fired." Now, those are painful words, but sometimes not the end of the story. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, if you ever hear those words, I've got some ways to respond that may do you some good.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
All right, we got to take a quick look at traffic. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot that's going to slow down second-string traffic, guys. People that need to be at work at 9 o'clock, you might see a little bit of traffic coming out of the area where the new flea market is. You might also see a little bit of traffic leading towards the intersection of 1 and 3. But it looks like virtually everywhere has cleared out this morning, so it's a good time to hit the road. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
We get it.
Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Away from 9 o'clock in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, and apparently double booked again. So I've got. It just there's so much happening, and I want to get so many people involved here. Guam youth professionals, Guam young professionals have put together a leadership conference along with the Guam Chamber, and Pinky's in here to talk about that this morning. And so first question: when is this conference going to be taking place?
This conference is next Friday.
Okay.
September 28th
Okay.
at Fort San Jose Ballroom at the Outrigger Guam Hotel.
I like it. As long as we just need to find the stairs, because every once in a while, if you get there at the wrong time,
Yeah.
and it's checkout time for every Korean that stays at at the
Forget it.
Outrigger.
You're never going to be able to get in that elevator, right?
Get there early. 9:45 is the check-in, but anticipate some delays getting to the elevator that will take you upstairs for all of this. And it looks like it's practically an all-day event now.
Yes, it's scheduled all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So
Okay.
you do have a little bit of your afternoon left.
Yeah, whatever. You're already at the Outrigger. So I'm just
might as well stay downstairs, grab a drink.
What time, Jesse and Ruben, what time can they start today? We'll start rearranging the furniture at the Outrigger.
Ray, if you go, we'll make special arrangements for Ruby and Jesse to start early, just for you. Yeah.
But it sounds like I know that you're targeting young professionals, young entrepreneurs, and young people in the business
Correct.
community. But this looks like an event that everybody, frankly, should participate in. All of the members of the chamber are going to be able to get something out of this, and even non-members of the chamber should think about going.
That's a good point, and we always do that. We
Mhm.
always open it to the general public. You do not have to be 40 years old or younger
Right.
to attend. We won't send you away, and it's open to non-GYP as well as GYP members. So,
Gotcha.
And chamber members.
Boy, this is amazing. It's like everybody is chiming in there. Carlos Barreto saying hi, Pinky. Mark Cruz saying hi, Pinky.
Hi,
Michelle,
Carlos.
Michelle Pierce saying hi, Pinky. Michelle, you need to call me and tell me about that thing that you got going on with the wedding dresses. She's doing a thing with the
I
painted.
saw.
Right?
Beautiful stuff, Michelle.
Well, she's a great artist to begin with,
She
and
is.
then imagine being able to move your what do they call it, your vehicle, your platform, going from canvas or otherwise
To a
into
dress.
a dress.
Yes.
So that to me is something fascinating. Maybe you know what? Don't call, come in. Let me see if I can double book her against somebody else
I
like
can
I did with you.
schedule her for you.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, please
Okay,
do.
I got
All right,
you. I got you back.
Here's the nuts and bolts of this conference here. 10:15 to 11 o'clock, professional seminars, how to effectively manage and build a strong team. And I think you picked the right guy to lead this.
Right? Mike Hernandez from SPPC.
Right? And I never see him alone.
No, never. He's always with a team of people.
Right, and it's their crew, they're social buddies, and
Yes.
they enjoy a great social scene together,
Yes.
And that translates, I think, into a very effective package that they put together at 76 Circle
Right.
K. And the other thing about Mike is, and I think this is testimony to his ability to build a team. That's a lesson that I've tried to engage in. When you see people working over at 76 Circle K, or they're rearranging things in the station, in the store, he's there.
Yes.
It's not like he's like, here's your instructions, go to the store and take care of this. He's actually in it.
In the trenches, doing the moves or
Mhm.
whatever needs to be done. Correct.
And I never see him without a book either. So he's always reading up on management and management ideas and team building and things like that.
There's always room for growth.
Yeah, exactly. So how to effectively manage and build a strong team, Mike Hernandez. Entrepreneurship, building and growing your business. Kim Anderson Young is going to be leading that.
Yes, and Kim is a director of our board now, so she's been a wonderful addition to the chamber as a whole. But she does have a sweet spot for the young professionals, and so the young professionals have utilized her at several levels. So yes,
Right.
that's another you got to see. You got to come and hear her.
She's a very,
entrepreneurship.
very effective speaker, and you might know her from being over at Security Title with Ron.
Yes.
11 o'clock, another professional seminar, Behind the Title, Working Global, Cultivating Local, and a guy that, and again, a great somebody that can speak directly to this, because that's exactly what he does.
Yes.
As the Chief People Officer, interesting title, maybe you can explain some of that, at Docomo Pacific, obviously worldwide brand.
Yes.
And but we need to be able to take this worldwide brand and make it so it fits in Guam.
Right.
And make it so that the essence of Guam also fits within the Docomo brand.
But you also want to know that when you look at your business, you got to think globally because of our geographical, location as well. So it gives you that perspective that the problem is we live in a little island, and sometimes we keep ourselves there. You know what I mean? And you got to think outside the box, especially with social media and technology. There's a lot that you can put on the table with regards to your services and expand it. And
Is
that's
it
what
possible?
Docomo
Is there
does.
some way that we can export this, or is there a
Right.
product that is outside of here that might have some usefulness
Right.
and some kind of relevance here on Guam?
And we're always trying to promote our island, right?
Oh, exactly. And Nate's a good guy, and he's going to take you through that amazing seminar, Working Global, Cultivating Local. Then everybody's going to break for lunch, and they don't have to bring their own lunch, right? There's
No,
going to be
lunch is
there.
provided,
Okay.
yes. Because it's not a free event. It's $22 for GYP members and $30 for non-members. But you will definitely get your money's worth. For sure.
And so check that out. 12:15, everybody goes back in, and the keynote presentation will be made by President and new CEO of GTA Teleguam, Roland Certeza.
Yes, staying motivated and balanced with professional, community, and personal endeavors. Yeehaw.
Yeah, well, you know what, and I love Roland, but I'm thinking about there's practically everybody in the chamber that might be able to stand up and deliver among the same kind of speech, because
True.
everybody has to do that balance. We all work for a living. We all, try to punch in our 10, 11 hours a day at work, and then there's home life, and then there are other things. Yeah, like to run, like to go to the gym, like to be able to, just Zumba, and you know what, happy hour.
Yes,
it's all of those things. So you've only got 24 hours in a day, and you've got all of these things that all feel like equal priorities. How do you deal with all of that?
Right, without requesting for an additional weekday and an additional weekend, right?
Yeah,
Give me one more weekend.
Yeah, and I'll be able to survive it. Leadership, business, and passion. And this is a panel discussion that you're going to be having.
Yes. So
Okay,
we
who's
have
in
Jen
that?
Camacho from Cars Plus, Mars Johnson from
Blair?
Sterling and Johnson and Martinez, and then we have Mariana Cook.
Shun, Doc.
Yeah, she's the doctor from Saguamanagu. And last but not least, Vincent Perez from Bank of Hawaii. And most of these guys are GYP members, and so they're going to go back and forth and just discuss leadership and the atmosphere and environment in the business community today.
This, as I said, it's Guam Young Professionals and a leadership conference that they are putting together.
Correct.
But again, looking at all of these different topics, looking at all of the things that they're going to be talking about, I don't see why, if you're in business or you want to be in business, I'd highly encourage you to call the chamber and find out how you can get in. Now, that's not the biggest room that they have in Tumon for having these conferences. So my guess is it's going to fill up pretty quick.
It is.
So make the call now. $22 if you're a member of the Guam Young Professionals. If you are not a GYP member, it's $30. I am a chamber member.
Yes.
Do I pay $30 or $22?
30.
30. No way.
Yeah, way.
What? You're kidding.
Sorry, but you're media, so don't worry. Just talk to me later.
Well, wait a
No,
second.
don't worry. I'll take care of you, Ray.
Well, no. But I have I subsidize the membership of a GYP member.
That's true. So you're going to have to send her instead of you.
Just take really, really good notes.
Yeah, just record everything.
And help it out with you. 10 away from, I'm going to need a break here so we can bring in the folks from the Westin, Mike. So if you could go ahead and load that up here in just a second, that would be absolutely awesome. While he's doing that, what else is the chamber going to be up to? Who's doing the speaking at this month's meeting?
Oh, we have Admiral
Shoshana.
Yes, and also they're tag teaming with man. You caught me off guard on
I'm
that
sorry.
one.
No. I got another email from the chamber the other day, and I was wondering who it was that was going to be speaking. And
Yeah, it's we're talking about the military buildup. It's an update.
Oh, that's still happening?
Yes. Yeah, it's happening. It happened. It's happening. It's happening. Also, it's Toys for Tots kickoff. So bring a toy, everybody. It's going to be at the Hilton next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Lunchtime. Come have lunch and donate a toy for Toys for Tots.
Ike Kaseki is saying hello, Pinky. I should have you more often.
You should.
Yeah, well, anytime you like.
And I didn't even harass anybody to call in and say all
it's
that
still
fun
early.
stuff.
Oh, there's too early. There's still time. We can do something. We'll set something up. What are the other big deals coming up? Do you have anything coming up for the chamber wise? You were talking about Toys for Tots launching into the holiday season, and so is there going to be a chamber little carnival in Agania or something?
Oh, our Songfest.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh,
we
the
will
Songfest,
have
yes.
Songfest, our Christmas Song Festival. We're gearing up for that. We also have Own It coming up. That's the CBWN group, our Chamber Business Women's.
Right.
In fact, they're getting together today, right now, as we speak at the Hilton. We have Risha Uggan and Melanie Mendiola over at the Hilton right now doing something.
I like Risha.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. And then tomorrow we have the Small Business Seminar at the Westin at 8:30, and that's with Joe Arnett. Tax time, our favorite subject.
Well, it depends on how you do it because there's
Joe.
tax refund stuff coming around here as well. Hey, listen, Pinky, I'm going to let you run. For details,
Thanks,
call
Ray.
the chamber or send an email to info@guamchamber.com.
Yes.
But get yourself lined up for this leadership conference for
Awesome.
GYP. All right, I'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
pretty
much.
soon. Quick break and we'll bring in some friends from the Westin.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
Join us for Coast 360's 4th annual East Coast Run and Family Fair on Saturday, September 22nd at the Mighty Member Center. Showtime at 5:30 a.m., go time at 6 a.m. 360 flags to the first 180 male and 180 female finishers. And the first 1,500 finishers get a quick dry performance hat. Register now at Coast 360 Member Centers and Goodies Sporting Goods. Stick around for the Eco Family Fair with food, fun, great prizes, and entertainment. See you at the 2018 Ecos Run and Family Fair.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Crazy busy morning, I tell you what. 8:52 a.m. My name is Ray Gibson. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. And as you can see, we go from one pretty lady to just a whole bunch of them. I got they're everywhere in the studio. And there's Sheena over there from the West End.
Yes. Good morning.
Welcome to the studio. It's your first time in here, right?
Yes, it is.
Isn't it nice?
Yes, it's very
nice.
nice.
Like your hotel. It's nice like your hotel. Christmas coming up at the hotel. What do you got lined up?
That we will announce soon.
Okay, well, then I'll have you back. This
Yes.
weekend, I was talking about runs, and, Coast 360's got their run on Sunday. Don't leave everything. I'm sorry, Saturday. Saturday is the Coast run. Don't leave everything on the road because we're going to want you to come back and do another run on Sunday. It's
Yes.
The run to give, and this is a collaboration. In fact, we got the Westin here, and we've got the folks from the Guam Lupus Foundation.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, and the Sheraton.
Sheraton. Don't forget the Sheraton.
I'm sorry. You know what? I didn't get the splains in the memo here today, as you can tell, because I've double booked everything. But I'm not going to run through this quickly. We have time on the other side of the hour because there's a lot to talk about. And we start with this. D, right?
Dean. Yes.
Yesterday, I had Dr. Zachary Pruse from Guam Regional
Yes.
Medical City and a new rheumatologist in town. And the point needs to be made on the point that he's the only rheumatologist in town.
The first and
the
only.
first.
Yes.
Like in the history
yes,
of it.
in the history. Yes. Thank you for having us today.
Oh, a pleasure.
Yes,
what a great segue to be able to talk about, learn about, all of the diseases that rheumatologists will treat, including lupus, and then actually have somebody in the studio the next day that can talk about it, and the impact that it has on people, complications that it has on people, and maybe just by way of more awareness that there is such a thing as lupus, and there are things that you can do about it, and people that you can get together with to talk about it.
Yes. So, yes, I'm here representing the Lupus Awareness Group of Guam. And basically, we try and raise awareness on lupus as well as other autoimmune conditions on Guam. Lupus is a condition where your body begins to attack itself. So it decides like a part of your body is a germ. So if you think of somebody like Seal, he has discoid lupus, and that has caused the scarring on his face that you see.
Oh, interesting.
So Selena Gomez has had all over body lupus. So she was criticized a couple years ago because she pulled out of tours since she was doing chemotherapy, because that's one of the treatments that they actually use for people with lupus. So what happens is it picks a part of your body, maybe your kidneys, and maybe your brain, maybe your lungs, and then it begins to attack it just like it was a germ. So there's medications now, thankfully, they can use. So most people are able to live with the condition. Most of the medications are immunosuppressants or cancer-type drugs that they give them in order to lower the immunity and help the person live with the illness. But one of the complications that we've been dealing with as a group is there's been no rheumatologists. So now having Guam Regional Medical Facility Medical Center provide this, it's huge. It's unbelievable. I mean, we've been working for years to try and get this to happen.
Well, in terms of autoimmune diseases that you're referring to, and there's it's a big spectrum, obviously, and there's something like 17,000 people in 2015, reported to doctors, came in and suggested that they've got these issues, and you've got a general practitioner around here who might be a little bit familiar with it, might be able to point you in the right direction of some kind of treatment, but you really need somebody that's got that specialty. So it's incredible now that there is that specialty here on Guam.
Huge.
And
it's huge.
I know where he's sending his kids to school. He's here to stay. I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. The last question that I'd asked him, and now that I've got somebody from the Lupus Awareness in the studio, is what is it that people should know when they've got somebody with lupus in their life, that they're working with them, or there's somebody in the family that has got lupus? What is it that they should know?
Well, first off, I think people in the community should know that it's not something contagious, so it's not going to jump from me to you. People can go to live a very long, healthy life with lupus as long as they stay on their medications and everything works out. However, it is a serious illness, and it does impact family, because the person with lupus, although they may appear fine on the outside, they're going to need to rest, and they're going to miss family events, and they're going to miss times that they're supposed to be out, because their body gets drained quicker than another person.
Right.
Also, many people with lupus are very sun sensitive. So one of the issues we run into is we live on a tropical island where there's a lot of sun, and then if you go out in the sun, it like completely drains your battery, so that you could end up a couple days in bed or with fevers or other issues related just from being in the sun.
Wow.
So those types of things can be very difficult. One of the issues
need to understand.
Employers need to understand, that you can have like a really good day, and then the next day you may just be shot. Yeah. One of the examples we use is the idea of the spoon theory. So there was a lady who was trying to explain her lupus to someone else, and what she said is like she was at a coffee shop with her friend, and she laid out like spoons, and she's like, some days I start out and have 10 spoons. I can do all kinds of things that day, but some days I may only wake up with 2 spoons, and I'm going to have to decide, because I'm already going to use one of those showering, getting dressed, so I'm only going to have one thing left that I can do.
Wow.
So I tell my friends and family, when I show up for something and do something, because I myself am a lupus patient, I said, when I show up and do stuff, you should be like happy, because I spent one of my spoons on you. That's like a big deal that I did that, and that I used that energy for those things.
Wow.
So yeah, it's challenging. During the time I've been involved in the group, I've seen 2 patients die, which is very sad. Right now, we have about 10 pediatric patients, which is an extremely high number, and we're not sure why. There are these kids showing up with the illness on Guam, But now that we have a rheumatologist, we'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
Was saying, there's a whole lot of genetics involved, and if so maybe there was somebody in your family tree that had lupus and passed the gene on down to you. Well, there's a music playing in the background, which means we've got just a limited amount of time before we can go from here into Fox News. So we're gonna go ahead and take the break at Fox News. On the way back, we'll come back and talk with the Sheraton and the Westin about what they are doing. It is the Run to Give that is going to be taking place in Tumon. Yes, Tumon Run on Sunday. We'll get you some details on that with these lovely ladies here in just a few moments. The radio station you're listening to is KUSG. Again, you stand by now for Fox News Live.
Testify. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Lots of back and forth from lawmakers on Monday's planned hearing on sexual misconduct allegations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh. It's still not clear whether his accuser will appear before the Senate committee.
Judiciary Chairman Republican Chuck Grassley is still holding out hope Professor Christine Blasey Ford will speak to his committee on Monday, but he's not willing to draw this out much longer, advising her attorneys they're on the clock, writing, prepared testimony and biography are due to the committee by 10 a.m. on Friday, September 21, if she intends to testify on Monday. Grassley's even willing to send committee staff to California if she wants to avoid the bright lights of a congressional hearing.
Fox's Mike Emanuel at the Capitol. President Trump making several stops in the Carolinas today to get a first-hand look at damage from Hurricane Florence at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point in North Carolina.
To the families who have lost loved ones, America grieves with you, and our hearts break for you. God bless you. We will never forget your loss. We will never leave your side. We're with you all the way.
The Carolinas are dealing with severe flooding, with more yet to come as rivers crest. 37 people confirmed dead in the storm. Foreign government hackers continue to target the personal accounts of U.S. senators and their aides, and the Senate Security Office won't help defend them. That's from Senator Ron Wyden. He says that in a letter to Senate leaders. At least one major technology company has warned an unspecified number of senators and aides that their personal accounts were targeted. Similar methods were used by Russian agents to interfere in the 2016 election. Police in Middleton, Wisconsin say a software company employee had a semi-automatic pistol and plenty of ammunition when he opened fire at his office, seriously injuring several people before he was shot and killed by police. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Honolulu, Seattle, L.A., Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
Police in Austin, Texas, with details about allegations against the maker of 3D printable guns on a charge of soliciting underage sex.
Cody Wilson, owner of Defense Distributed based in the Texas capital city, is right now not in custody. Police say they have evidence he paid $500 to a 16-year-old girl he met on a dating site to have sex with him. Austin Police Commander Troy Officer says there is an international warrant out for Wilson's arrest.
His last known location by the Austin Police Department was Taipei, Taiwan. We also know that Mr. Wilson missed a scheduled flight back to the United States.
Police say they believe he was informed that his victim had spoken to investigators, which may have led to his decision to leave the country. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A woman released from prison in Utah after serving 15 years for kidnapping, Elizabeth Smart, will live in emergency housing chosen by her probation officer. Court documents say 72-year-old Wanda Barzi will stay in the facility until another home is approved. Another airline raising baggage fees.
Delta Airlines is joining two others in raising fees to check a bag on a flight within the U.S. The airline says it will now cost $30 for checking that first bag and $40 for a second. That is an increase of $5 each. The changes match hikes imposed by United Airlines as well as JetBlue. Southwest still lets travelers check two bags for free. Last year, U.S. carriers raising more than $7 billion from fees on checked bags and ticket changes. Tom Graham, Fox News.
Bill Cosby's trial judge rejecting a defense motion to step down from the sex assault case before Monday's sentencing hearing in suburban Philadelphia. Cosby's wife had filed a state ethics complaint this week that Judge Steve O'Neill is biased against her husband because of a supposed feud with a former prosecutor. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
It's not Friday. And that's okay, too, because that means it's meatloaf at King's. That's the big lunch special. You go to King's, you get meatloaf, and tomorrow is beef tenactac. That's the big Friday deal. But I just wanted to point out that it is not yet Friday, but you can start thinking that it is with lunch today at King's.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
This program brought to you by an incredible number of friends, a great range of friends, including American President Lines, APL. They're shipping the future of MRE, that's Micronesia Renewable Energy, and there's never been a better time to go solar. We've got GRMC, your first choice for all of your open heart surgery and now rheumatoid disease guys. So think about them. And the last one is going to be American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
6 after 9. Now that we know what the run to give is all about, we got an opportunity to talk about the actual run. It was nice to talk with Dean about her experiences as a lupus patient and being a part of the awareness. What's the actual name again? Is
Lupus Awareness Group of Guam.
Well, that's okay. That's easy to remember.
And if anybody's interested in finding out more, come down to the run. We'll have a table set up. Also, you can check out our Facebook page, Lupus Awareness Group of Guam, and that's an easy way to contact us and find out what's going on.
Now, when we talk about some of these autoimmune diseases, and I don't want to spend too much more time on that because I want to sell tickets to the run.
That's very important. We want lots of ticket sales.
Lots and lots of bibs going out.
Yeah, we are a beneficiary to it, so we definitely want it and appreciate everything.
What I'm asking about here is I remember my mother had fibromyalgia, which, is a
autoimmune condition too, yeah.
And one of the things, she didn't know she had it for a long time. And so, what was your journey like? I mean, how did you find out that it was lupus?
It's a really long process. So, I mean, some people are very sick and end up in the hospital and then they're diagnosed quickly. Some people, you're just not feeling good and you just keep saying you're not feeling good. I mean, I went through periods where doctors said, oh, you're just depressed. Oh, you're just this.
You're not sleeping enough.
You're not sleeping enough. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And it can be very frustrating. I'm trying to remember what I think it takes several
doctors. Did anybody ever accuse you of doctor shopping for drugs?
No, because I was never looking for painkillers, but I know that was an issue for other patients they'll ask it.
I need more and stronger.
Yeah. I'm actually allergic to codeine, so I was never looking for anything too strong because of allergy issues. So they never thought about that, but I did. At times, I felt like even I was a hypochondriac. I remember sitting there with one of the doctors and like, if I'm depressed, okay, just give me the medicine.
Yeah.
Whatever they do to fix depressed people, I'm good with
Then I'll
that.
take that.
I don't feel sad. I don't feel depressed, but if it'll fix me, let's do it. So for myself, I had to go off to an island to the Philippines. There I was diagnosed for the first time, but I didn't really quite believe it. So my parents both have autoimmune conditions. So I went to actually their rheumatologist in the States, and he
Bada
was
bing,
the
bada
one
bang, bada
who
boom.
said, yeah, you definitely have something, and this is how we're going to deal with it. So for me, that was it. But I went through a long time with doctors here on the island who were awesome, who, because they weren't rheumatologists, were just saying, oh, maybe it's hormonal, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And, there's some very specific tests that have to be done and run in order to determine if it is lupus.
They
or
tell me
if
there's
it
lots of
is-
blood work involved.
Lots of blood work.
Medicinal marijuana, does that enter the conversation for folks suffering from lupus?
It has. It's supposed to help with pain management, and I have heard it can help with the anxiety and depression that some folks experience. I don't know. We talked about it at one of our meetings, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it might be great." We don't know.
I wonder. I
yeah.
can't remember if it's covered under the law. If it's one of the diseases that are covered.
I'm not
under.
sure. It should be.
I'll
It
find
should
out.
be.
I'll find out. I think
All
it's
of
an
the
interesting
actually, all
conversation.
of the autoimmune conditions should be
Should
because
be.
it can be quite helpful. So.
At 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and as I said, they are the beneficiaries of the Run to Give, and that's going to be taking place on Sunday Racing and Tumon Racing. That doesn't happen very often. Remember the running community. If you're running in Tumon, you're probably training for something, and so they're for folks they're wondering why I'm so excited about this is because it's Tumon running and there's hills in Tumon, and there's hills. So, you need to get some hills in. Some people don't like that, some people do. So it's going to be taking place on Sunday at Epal Beach Park, and so there's it's the usual showtime at
5 a.m. and go time at 6 a.m. But we do have a warm up at 5:30, which includes Zumba and mixed fit.
Okay, so it's I don't Zumba.
Well, you can just try get those get the blood running so you're ready to run. And
So now normally you think about the hospitality industry and these hotels here are in competition with the other hotels. We got the Westin and Sheraton and the Marriott here, and you would go, wait a second, shouldn't they be in competition? What is it that brought you guys together to help out lupus?
Well,
Mila?
yes. First of all, we are sisters under the Marriott International brand. So that's
now.
how we are a family, so to speak, right? I know we are competitors and to some degree, but when it comes to giving back to the community, we are one.
That's so important, isn't it? And
Yes.
it's so nice. It's nice to see that kind of thing happening.
Yes.
It is beautiful to happen here on Guam. So if you're wondering about that, then that's how the two of them got
Yes.
together and brought this, to fruition. Is this the first time there's been a Run to Give?
Yes, there has been. So let me just give you a little brief of a background here. So Run to Give started in 2014 under Starwood.
Okay.
Under Starwood.
Under the old name.
Yes, under the old name. And 2 years after, it continues to be a key event in Asia Pacific, now under Marriott International.
Okay, so
Yes.
here's the thing in my head. Okay, runner and Tumon Run, and we've got hotels represented here again, the Westin and the Sheraton, and they're going to be out there helping to host this particular event. So the question that I have is, what's for breakfast? Because this hotel run. Tell me about what's the F&B angle on this here? Come on.
Well, without our sponsors, we wouldn't have this event happening. So we got a lot of donations of variety of fruit. So we don't want it to be too heavy.
Where's the fried rice? Where's the fried
This
rice
is a grab
with the
and go
corned beef
event.
and-
Okay, you just
Okay.
grab what you can and then go.
All right, so
They're there for the raffle, actually.
This is Bina, and so I'm trying to work this out. I got Mila and Bina and Sheena here in the studio, and they're all kind of representing different places. But Bina from the Sheraton, and as you say, it's grab and go. Is that what's going to be happening?
Well, we wanted to make it simple. We got, like I said, fruits, and then we also got pandesal. So we got some pastries as well. So we're going to throw in some other little things as well. So
I'm looking forward to seeing what else we're going to be adding to the list. We'll go over the big sponsors here in just a couple of minutes, and then talk about this. So we've got the go time. Showtime is at 5. There's going to be the warm up at the usual time, and that'll finish just before everybody's supposed to line up on the start line. I am presuming that we're starting from about right behind the Hilton. Usually is they've got a little pump station there, and then we start there, run all the way to about where
Hyatt.
Fujita. Oh, to the
Hyatt.
Hyatt. Okay, so to the Hyatt and then straight back.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So regular 3.1
That's
miles.
the 5K, and then 2K you turn around at Pacific Star.
Oh, for little kids. Okay, I'm sorry. I completely missed that part of it. So we've got a couple of different routes that are going to be working, and you need to get yourself pre-registered and save some money, $10 a person or $35 for a group of 4. Now, as I have suggested on many occasions, take the $35, get the 4 bibs, and then you have 4 chances to win.
Yes.
See?
Nice.
Did you see this? All of the girls in unison. Yes, we understand that. It's a great way to do that. On race day, it's going to be $12 a person flat, and cash payments only.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so hit the ATM on the way down. Otherwise, we are going to get yourself turned around. Proceeds to benefit Lupus Guam. How's that going to work? Is it everything that you guys are making going to go and support them?
Everything.
You can
They're
make
the
a ton of
soul.
money in a 5K. You realize that, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
We're
well,
aware.
that's good.
Yeah,
Good
we're
for you.
very grateful. Very grateful.
Where can we get the bibs at?
You can purchase the bibs at the Westin front desk, Sheraton front desk, or Hornet Sporting Goods.
And if you forget everything that we're talking about, just pick up the back page of the Guam Daily Post. It has virtually all of the information that you're going to need for the run to give that's going to be taking place. Now, you can get runners to do pretty much anything for a T-shirt and an orange or a banana or an apple at the end of it. But of course, there's great prizes that we stick around for as well. It's we're all rafflers with a running condition. I think sometimes that's the way it works out. So what can I win? First of all, what do I win if I come in first place? Like if Derek and Ryan don't show up, and virtually all of the other seniors, if for some reason they forget and I happen to come in first place in this race, what do I get?
Well, actually, all the winners, all the first top winners, they all receive medals and certificates for the recognition. But for our grand prize, we're doing something a little different this year. 2 winners will receive an ultimate weekend staycation from both properties. So one winner will receive from Westin and one from the Sheraton.
It's
so
not the same
2-night
weekend,
stay.
right?
Oh, no.
So
it's not
a 2-night stay in one place and then a 2-night stay in the other place?
Correct.
Very, very nice.
So if you buy that 4 bibs,
You got
4
multiple chances to win all
Correct.
of that stuff, right? Do we get any airplane rides, cell phones, flat screen TVs?
Well, those, but unfortunately, no airplane
Right.
sponsors. We weren't able to secure any this year, unfortunately.
Smaller list anymore these days, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not one of those big 5K events that get those. We're just a little small event. But
Sam's off island. Otherwise, I'd try to twist his arm.
if you could,
I might.
we tried our best.
You
It's not
never
too
know.
late.
Well, you know what? Tell you what. If you're not in the airline industry, but you would like to help out, you can jump in as a sponsor. There's still time to
Yes.
get some
Yes,
sponsor
there
mentions
is.
and
Wonderful.
buy them tickets.
We are seeking an airline sponsor if
Yeah.
possible. It's
Well,
just so hard
or,
to get.
Or
It's
any other
challenging.
business that
Right,
wants to buy
right.
the tickets for you.
Right.
Would be great. And
That's true.
maybe you're going, well, I'm not big enough. I can't buy airplane tickets for this race. You know what you can do is there's a lot of young runners out there, and a lot of people that for them, even the $10 is going to be a lot. So find out if they've got people in your office that have got kids that want to run but can't necessarily afford it, and buy them bibs.
Right.
Or
Sponsor
go and
them
buy
in.
a whole bunch of bibs
Right.
and hand them out to your employees. It's a great way to help out the race, and it's a great way, obviously, to help out the Lupus Foundation. Special thanks to who?
Special thanks to our event sponsors. Of course, without them, this event wouldn't be happening. PHR, Ken Corp Micronesia, PDN, 76 Circle K, Take Care Insurance, Bank of Hawaii, ASC, PIC, First Hawaiian Bank, Fujitech, PTS, Alter Ego, American Printing, Ecolab, Guam Plaza, Welltech, Tech Evo, Pacific Produce, ST Corp, HIS, AMC, EIF, PAC Renewable Energy Solution, Cargo Express.
Wow.
And, of course, Choice Broadcasting for promoting our events.
Oh no, happy to help out, absolutely, and make sure that we can get the word out as much as possible. Number one, because it's a great racing event in the community, and number two, it's going to help out the folks that are suffering from lupus. Deanna Palmer writing, "Lupus is tough. Bless you." Big Sister Shelley says, "God bless those who suffer lupus, fibro, and all of the autoimmune afflictions." So there's a lot of people that have got your back.
Good. Wonderful.
There are a
Thank
lot
you.
of people
Thank
behind
you.
you, and a lot of people supporting you, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming down to play in the race. So as you can tell, a long list of sponsors. So and I know why, because nobody says no to Bina. Because because eventually, I'm remembering certain favors that I've asked over at the Sheraton, and the answer is and the answer from you has always been yes. I think there's a whole lot of favors going back and forth, and so I'm happy to see that this is going to be happening. Holiday season is going to be coming up, so what's going to be happening at the different properties? I know you already waved me off and said we'll tell you about it when it happens. But
Same here.
Well,
They've been too focused on the run.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Right now, one event at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
I'm still looking for having my birthday party over at the Point.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes, I know.
Call me.
You have a recipe. See, now that's what happened. Maybe I was just talking to the wrong person.
I will take care of you. Yes, of course.
And then after I'm done with the birthday party down there, I want to go and hang out downstairs at your place. Yeah. Why not? Right. We can do all of these things here because I don't want anybody saying no to me either. It's 9:19 in the program. Dana, it's really nice to meet you. And,
Thank you.
And I want you to come back as often as you can to talk about some of the things that the Lupus Awareness Group is going to be doing here on Guam. I mean, after spending some time with the rheumatologist. After spending some time with him yesterday and learning more about these autoimmune diseases, I want to help out as much as I can with the radio station.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Use our broadcast powers for good, if you will. And of course, you ladies are always welcome to come back. So especially when you have free food.
We'll come back with our promotions for the holidays.
Definitely. 9:19 in the morning. This is the Ray Gibson Show. We'll return in just a few minutes. I do want to tell you that iConnect time is 9:19. Swing by iConnect and find out why they are the practical choice. 888-8888 is the number, and that's how you find out the special rates that they're going to give you. Ask for the Ray Gibson rate on the things like push to talk and your phone systems and your internet and your mobile and all of that. Again, the number is 888-8888.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Have to do this on the fly here. Too much to do. Too many things to talk about today. Come over here and yeah. And so Ray Gibson going to take a selfie with all the pretty girls here, and that'll be all right. 888-8888. Let me see. We'll move all the technology out of the way so I can do this. Normally I'm in the middle, so it looks like it's my party. Yeah. And then we take it with somebody else's camera because nobody's invented WhatsApp yet. Apparently. Yeah. Oh, ours. Oh, yours. All right. Here we go. Thank you. Very good. All right. Okay, love you, Mina. Bye. Okay. See it. I'll see you on Sunday. Sunday morning at where's that going to be at? Where did I say it was going to be? Down in Tumon. Sign up at the Sheraton. Sign up over at the Westin and all of the usual spots. Or if you really want to help out, don't sign up until race morning and give them the extra couple of bucks that it's going to take. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Everybody all right here in the program? Have we settled? Have we settled on anything yet? Have we won any wars? I'd asked and still have not. At what time is it now? At 9:22 in the morning. Still have not got the answer to the question that I was seeking earlier this morning, and that is the good news is the Section 30 monies are in. We know that the money has finally come in and the check is not in the mail anymore. It's here. And there's two things that need to get done with this. And thing number one is we've got to give money and pay off the bondholders on certain humongous debts that the island of Guam has racked up over the decades, for which Section 30 money has been used as the source of repayment. So that's one. And number two is whatever's left over is going to go to take care of tax refunds. I think we're good until what, the middle of February now, but we got to get all the way through to April. And the question that is lingering, as I said, has not yet been answered. We'd asked the question, how much of the $77 million in Section 30 money will go to tax refunds? And at 7:15, Oyel said, let me confirm. It's 9:23. Nothing yet. Haiti Eugenio had asked at just about 8 o'clock, will that amount cover all remaining refunds? Is that at least $50 million? And I still haven't got an answer on that one at this point. So we'll see what we can come up with. I'm not too sure what's going to be happening with that and how much it's going to be and whether it will take us into April and those payments or not. We'll watch. We'll see what happens. But those are the questions that we're asking. Earlier, they'd sent out a press release absent that information, and I called them on it because I thought that was a lousy use of press release time. There are a couple of other press releases that have gone out of the drama department over at the governor's office, and one that seems to be a little bit more, I don't want to say timely, but maybe is a little bit more responsive, if you will, to concerns that we've got in the community, and their concerns that we have brought up in the last, week and a half, when those videos of the Jughead started floating around, getting into fights in Dededo, and videos of the guys getting into scraps in front of Payless Market, and guys getting into scraps at the laundromat. And it's bothersome. The violence in the community at any time is an annoyance. But, we're at the laundromat where people are doing their laundry because maybe they're too poor to have a washer and a dryer in the house. Or maybe they've got a washer and a dryer, but we don't have any electricity at the house to run them. So I got to sweat it out at the laundromat, the least favorite place to be in the whole wide world, and suffer through all of that. And while they're trying to get through it, here comes a bunch of jugheads that decide now would be a good time to have a riot. And the community very quickly, and rightly so, got up in arms about this and demand some kind of action. First of all, we'd like to see more cops out there. And I believe that there has been conversation about adding to the number of guys that are out there on patrol and in the cars with instructions to keep an eagle eye out for these thugs. There have been arrests, thank goodness. And now we move forward from the immediate reaction and say, all right, what has to be done? And there's a lot of people that say, I think there needs to be more done in the islands where they come from. And let them know, hey, listen, if you're going to go to Guam, you're a guest in their house. And please act accordingly. You wouldn't act like that in here. Why would you do it there? Governor Calvo, President Christian agreed to work together to address social issues. There's a press release that went out at 5:44 this morning. He's looking for news, hadn't gotten the word on the Section 30 yet, right? Governor Calvo and President Peter Christian of the Federated States of Micronesia sat down to meet yesterday. The two leaders discussed the need to work together to help FSM citizens living on Guam. To assist the island of Guam with typhoon recovery, President Christian told Governor Calvo they'd be making a $100,000 donation to the island. Isn't that nice? Governor Calvo has said both governments need to work together to compel the federal government to live up to their part of the compact agreement and help Guam and the FSM. Both leaders expressed their frustration that discussions with U.S. federal counterparts are mired in regulation and policy instead of solutions, which is a complaint that I make rather frequently here. The governor raised the issue of FSM citizens who need help recovering from Typhoon Mangkhut, but whose non-immigrant status with the U.S. federal government means they can't get FEMA assistance. President Christian said they've been trying to find solutions in discussions with the U.S. Embassy and the FSM and have asked if U.S. aid can step in since FEMA cannot assist families there. And then a conversation about preparing for a new life. President Christian said he and the FSM government have been discussing options for helping to ensure citizens are prepared for life in Guam and other jurisdictions before leaving their home nation. He said the government can't deny a citizen's request for a passport, but what they can do is work with those citizens making the request to ensure that they have confirmed jobs, homes, or schooling plans awaiting them if their intent is to travel to Guam or another U.S. community, per the law, per the treaty. I wonder why they haven't been doing that before. So I don't know. That's an interesting story. I got the conversation with Leevin Camacho that you'll be able to hear a little bit later on when we take the video of this program and put it up on YouTube, which we do on a daily basis. So if there's a part of the program that you hear or somebody said, "Hey, did you hear what the guy said with Ray Gibson on the radio?" That's how you go and find us. You can watch this on a video on demand basis at the end, or go to YouTube and watch it there. And if you follow me on, you can I don't know, become a member on YouTube, and then every time a new signal goes up, a new tape goes up, then you'll be able to catch the thing. And yeah, we are working on making it so that the same way that you can watch this on Facebook Live, you'll be able to catch it on YouTube Live, just like the Legislature channel. Neat's asking a question: can the green waste collection be extended for Dedido? I don't know. I'll see what I can find out this morning, see if I can line up somebody from Dedido that can talk about that and address that. Is there anything else? I know the last time I talked with Mayor Savars, the concern was that what they were having to do is deal with the folks that are stuck in the Estumbo gym and have been. And my recollection, based on a couple of stories, is they were supposed to be out yesterday, but that has been extended. And almost out of humanitarian necessity, because they don't have any place to go, or they've got a place to go, ain't got a roof, everything inside is still soaked. Oh, and what are the what's the prognosis that they're going to be able to find something? This ought to be used as a foundation for a conversation about what we refer to around here as affordable living and affordable homes. There aren't too many places. It seems like you've got some places, and you look at the rent and go, oh, it's $750, $800 a month. I can afford that. And then you go and check the place out, and it's a slum. And you go, no, I don't want to live there. Here's what I can do is maybe get a couple of friends, and we'll all live together in some place at $1,250, $1,500. Because the next step up is going to be $2,400. Because isn't that the going rate these days to bring in a military family to the house? And that's what guys are building for. And you see a whole lot of these apartments now. You watch this, you see a whole lot of conversions going on Tumon Road, Deepow Road. There used to be a bunch of slummy-looking apartments, and eventually everybody got kicked out, and the landlord went in and hired a bunch of guys and went through them like Grant took Richmond and turned them into pretty fancy-looking, kind of Tony-looking apartments.
Yeah, the only downside to the military buildup is that rents are going to go way up. If you think you're paying a lot now, just wait, because there's already a shortage of housing here, and now we've got a bunch of folks coming in that have plenty of money to spend.
Got access to cash, yeah. So you're absolutely right, but there is something to be said about building affordable homes. As my old man said, there will always be poor people. 9:31 in the morning, and there's something that was happening over at the governor's office yesterday. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio brought in, Mark Mendiola was there, and Mary Okada was there. I don't know if Jane was made it, but it looks like the deal is that there may be opportunities to get, in this case, no-cost education. Good morning, Jane.
Good morning, Ray. Thank you for calling me.
Well, because the thing that I read in the Post this morning said it was all going to be done over at GCC. These new courses that the Lieutenant Governor was talking about, they're supposed to be like free.
Yes, some of them. The culinary and the tourism courses will be here at GCC. That part of the program, I believe, this is a grant from the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Guam State Clearinghouse to give 1 year of college free to qualified students. And you have to be, of course, a U.S. citizen, and you have to have graduated from high school recently. I believe be a 2018 graduate.
Yeah, that was the part that kind of caught me, because I was thinking, you know what, I like your culinary program over at the school. I'd like to be able to go in and do something besides.
No, you already have a career and a job, Ray.
Okay, so let somebody else have a crack at it.
Right. Yes.
I understand.
So
I understand.
This is for the young people that have just graduated from high school and may not know what they want to do, but if you have an interest in culinary or tourism, you come to GCC, and for construction, you will go to the construction guys over at the GCA, or
Guam Contractors Association?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so find James Martinez and he'll give you the splains on that.
That part of the program they have, and then we have the culinary and the tourism portion of it.
Okay, but that's the link up now between something that the Rates and Oreo wanted to do and the educational system, primarily GCC.
Right, you apply through our GCC financial aid office. If you're interested, you come in and you fill out an application, and we will set you up.
Simple as that. What else going on at GCC while I got you on the line?
All right. Well, Saturday, come rain or shine, we have our Par Excellence GCC Foundation Golf for Scholarships annual golf tournament. And so if you are interested, please call 735-5516 or go on our website, guamcc.edu, and under events and download a team application, and you can play golf.
I'm a suck at golf, so I'm going to tell Carl Pangolina to play in my place.
Okay, well, that would be wonderful. But yes, we are. And this is the only tournament where you actually get to see the fruits of your labor, because the scholarship students from last year's from the money that was earned last year are actually going to be on hand to help with the tournament. So you get to meet these kids, talk to them, find out how much, what they're doing, what their major is, what their plans are, where they're working, and you actually get to see the fruits of your golfing labor. So
I think
we have a lot of great prizes and everything.
I think I ran into one of those students last night over at where is that? Over at the Sandcastle. I'm almost positive I ran into one of your students out there at the Sandcastle. And she was she was absolutely awesome, and she knew exactly what she was doing, and very, very competent. And so she was so good at, she had like attitude. It was great. I dug it.
Well, we like them with attitude.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, I know how busy you are, so I'm going to let you run.
Well, okay, one more thing. Very important. On Tuesday, 10 o'clock at Teton High School, we are formally launching our newest CTE CTE program, which is our secondary program, and we have now 12 of them that feed into our post-secondary programs. And this is our newest program. It's called Telecommunications, and this program is right up your alley, Rick. Yes. And it is designed to help these high school students launch into post-secondary careers out of high school and into college in the telecommunications field. And we are working with the Chamber of Commerce's Silicon Village initiative. That's actually where we got the idea from. And working with the telecom industries on Guam to actually get these students to get into these programs, get into these fields, so that we can build a skilled local workforce for this industry, because it is flourishing here and it's something that we can do here on Guam. And this program actually is the program that we have that translates all of the programs that these kids will take in high school. They take them from sophomore through senior year. If you get a B or better and you do the work experience component, which is 180 hours of work experience with a company in the summers or after school, and if you do that and you graduate and you come to GCC and you declare the Associate of Science in Computer Science as your major, all of your courses that you took in high school translate to 19 credits toward that computer science degree.
Oh, yeah, that's like a discount on studying.
That means you have one entire semester of college. If you go full time and it's 15 credits, or it's more than a semester that you already have under your belt.
No, I like that idea. Plus, you're right. The industry is going to be booming. IT&E just announced their lineup with SK from South Korea Telecom, which is going to be massive. There's going to be a huge infusion of cash over there. And we know that Docomo continues to be growing. They've got some new leadership over there, and I think this is going to be kind of a big deal. And they're going to be looking for people. It's right now. It's kind of there's a lot of cannibalization. There's a handful of guys and a handful of companies that are capable of doing this. So yeah, we need to train and make larger the workforce that is capable of working in this 21st century industry.
Yeah. So we are on top of it here at GCC, and this is a brand new program. We are launching it at Teton, and they have 85 students in the program already.
Gotcha. All right, well, listen, I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Jane.
Thanks, Ray.
No, I appreciate your time. You want information on that, hit their website. 888-825-5938 in the morning. We're talking about affordable living and affordable housing, which is in incredible demand right now. And as you can see, we've got people at Istanbul, got nowhere else to go. And based on media reports and interviews that I've read, don't hold out a whole lot of hope that they might be able to find things. I mean, they were looking for places before the typhoon, and now they're where they were living is all wrecked, and they need other places to go, and short on income, and we still haven't pushed the button on any kind of relief and a whole lot of vouchers for these guys. So it's going to be tricky. We were talking about that and how the idea is in future we're probably going to see those the lack of housing disappear as the military begins to make more inroads on Guam. Good morning, Jim.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Ray. Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I mean, it's been forever that it's been going on Guam, which is great for the realtors and the homeowners, and the government subsidizes. But when you said the military person comes in, depending on rank and family, the realtor and the homeowner knows that they're either going to be at $2,400, $2,200, whatever it is, and they lock into that because if they don't spend it, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Other parts of the country, like Alaska, stuff like that, you get an amount and then you spend it the way you see fit, and you pocket the rest. If that happened out here, it would be devastating, I know, to a lot of folks, but it would definitely adjust the housing spike.
Oh, that's an interesting view, huh? So rather than
it's a fact. It's just
no, but why isn't that done here then?
I have no idea. I don't know. And I've been here 20-some years, and I love the place, but I thought if I was a smart person back in '92, I would have bought a couple of duplexes. I would have had them both paid out by now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to be a landlord, that was a dream of mine at one point. I found a condominium, and I found one of the things that I found was I might be okay on the radio. I might have a little bit of aptitude for this job, but I'm not good at being landlord. I wasn't good at being landlord, and I got the toilet's backed up or the air conditioner doesn't work, and it felt like I was always writing checks, or it felt like I was always going to Home Depot to cover something, and finally I took the lazy guy's way out and said, look, just call Barrett or call Johnstone or ACC or whoever, talk to and just pay it and then take it out of the rent.
Right.
Yeah, and which is not a bright way to do things, and so I was very happy recently to announce to everybody that I had sold that condominium. I no longer have to worry about it. People say, "Hey, you still got that place out in Manila?" No, it's gone. I sold it. It's somebody else's headache now. So that's the way it is.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those places where I was going to get $2,400 from a couple of sailors. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's another point is why you're saying all these folks are dumping all these residences, which used to be $700, maybe $750,
yep.
And they're renovating and charging the spike because they know they're going to get it.
Yep, and eventually, if you can hold your breath, if you can afford the renovation costs and all of those things, there's a lot of that going on, and in fact, I think we're starting to see it in certain neighborhoods that had seen kind of a decline in their toniness, if you will. I think we're starting to see some more of that. At least one street that I go on a regular basis, I'm seeing a lot of guys. It's midnight construction guys. After work on the regular construction site or on the weekends, that they clearly have spent a lot of time at Home Depot buying paint and that the little the fake river rocks that people like to put accent their homes with. The little slatey looking things. So there's plenty of that seems to be going on. And again, it's not because the family's moving back in. It's because they're going to take that property that they've been, leasing out to Section 8 customers and characters.
Well, that's the other section, right? You got the GORA section, or you got the federal that kills the middleman that pays cash.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. And so I don't know what the answer is, because you look at the price of construction and renovation. I mean, it not too far off to see $175, $200 a square foot.
Well, that's if you're right. Okay. It's building new. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you build new out here, and you're going to have to build for the higher end of the market. There's just no two ways around it.
Okay, that was it, Bill, but thanks.
No problem. I appreciate your thoughts on it. Appreciate your sentiments about it. I don't want to I don't want to be the guy that does the sky is falling, but for certain people in certain income categories, the sky is falling. There just aren't a whole lot of options.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I live practically in the ghetto right now, and I'm thinking that
you live in the nice side of that place, though. You live in the nice side of that
I really
place.
do, yeah, because there's nothing behind me but trees.
Yeah.
It's actually the best spot. But still, where I'm at's a one-bedroom. I'm thinking sometime next year I'm going to need to go to a 2 because there's going to be some life change go on.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure what I'm going to do at that point because most of the 2 bedrooms are priced out of my range at this point.
Right.
And they're not going down because of the military thing. They all know it's just going to keep going up.
Yeah, you can see it. Depending on you think about the wherewithal that you might need to do here, and as much as I recognize that there are people that don't want to buy for whatever reason, or might not be able to buy, see if there's a way that you can get in and work on some kind of way to get your credit up to a point. Now this is another problem. You get your credit up to a point where you might be able to buy something and then refurbish it.
Right.
Yeah. And we've had the guys from Community First in to talk about that on a couple of occasions. There are these loan vehicles that they have that will allow you to do that if your credit worthiness is up. One of the other problems that we have here, and it's not just confined to what we would refer to as poor people, and one of these days we'll get the guys from Guam Housing in on the conversation. This is based on interviews I've done with them over the years. Is there are a number of working families. Dad works, mom works, got a couple of kids. So we need something that a family can live in. A couple of bedrooms, maybe 3 bedrooms, a couple of baths, and things like that. And even though they are working, even though they've got jobs, their combined income still doesn't give them the buying power to be able to get past the 80% or the 20%. They've got issues making the down payment on the house, and then we've got the money for the down payment, but will the bank loan them the amount of money to buy to loan out for the rest of it? Right. You know what I mean? So that they're not quite, but almost ready to be upside down. So we've got these critical things that are going on. They're not poor. Everybody's working. Trying to send the kids to nice schools and all of that. They cannot get through the financing. So it's difficult, if not impossible. So there are programs out there, and maybe I'm talking to you on this one, but there are places where you can go and find out if there are ways that the government, people at Guam Housing, might be able to help bridge that gap. To bring you and the bank a little bit closer together on what the requirements are going to be for you being able to own a home. And the answer is always, in my case, don't disqualify yourself by not calling. And if it sounds interesting to you, call the Guam Housing Corporation and say, I was listening to Ray Gibson on the radio today, and he says there's ways that the government might be able to help me and my wife close the gap between what we have and what we are able to borrow and what the bank is willing to borrow to give to us. There are ways that you can do that. I don't know what they are. I don't know what their name. You know who will know? There's another guy, Carlos Camacho. Carlos Camacho. In fact, let's take a quick break. Did I already run the break? Did I already blow it off? Okay, so we've got an opportunity. So while the commercial's playing, let's see if we can find Carlos Camacho, because he'll answer the phone in a hurry, and see if he's got some ideas on what those programs are. Just for no other reason, because it's in my head now. 888-8255 if you remember or or hit me up on the Facebook with your answer.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
that's nice. I see Rita Hugo online this morning on Facebook Live. Thanks very much for she said she was in the audience last night at the Lexus reveal, the IS350 reveal over at the Sandcastle, and got treated to I want to say the miniature version of the Zubrik show, which was awesome. It was the first time I'd seen it. Whole bunch of cats, whole bunch of acrobats, and dancing girls, and it was a delight for the real treat for the eyes. And then at the end of it, I had the opportunity to stand with the Sandcastle crew, and thanks very much for taking that picture and sending it to Shelley. Got a couple of other pictures of me standing with a couple of the ladies of the Sandcastle crew. Which in my mind, they were standing, they got this set of stairs over at the Sandcastle, and you got these two lovelies that are standing at the side, and you're supposed to get in the middle. And so I got up there and I said, okay, you two get away. I just want this to be me in the staircase, please. Come on, I'm wearing my skinny pants. But they wouldn't do it that way. 12 away from the top of the hour. And it's one of those ask and you shall receive. Carlos Camacho on the line. Good morning, Carlos. How you doing?
Hey, Ray, good morning. Thank you for reaching out.
Well, you know what? I got into a stream of consciousness conversation with myself about the about affordable housing and the lack of affordable housing on Guam. With the cost of new construction, everybody is building for the military, and they're building for people with significant pockets and access to cash, and not too many people that seem to be building for low income housing, or what you explained to me was kind of a medium income, where you got mom and dad that are working for a living, they're making some decent money, but not enough to satisfy the money that they've got to have to go to a bank and get a loan to support them buying either a new house or something out there, right?
Ray, you said all the right ingredients on barriers or keywords affordable housing. So let me just try to clarify a few things here.
Yeah.
When we target affordable housing, and when I utilize HUD money from the U.S. government, those trigger income limits. Just to make it clear, those trigger income limits. So when I do that in the last 20 years, it triggers targeting families' incomes that don't exceed the 80% area median income.
Right.
There's a published income table every year by HUD for the Western Pacific, which includes Guam, Saipan, American Samoa. So that program is available. Unfortunately, there's not enough grants that can keep building those type of affordable housing. So I've done that in the past. I got creative, so that's why I brought in the self-help housing program, whereby now we're using the family sweat equity to be part of lowering the cost of goods. Because you're right, because of our H2 impact and the rising cost of shipping to Guam, we all pay the same cost of concrete. We all pay the same cost of windows at Benson.
Mm-hmm.
We all pay everything the same. But when you finally put all those building materials and labor costs to build a home, the prices are just up there that none of the targeted families from low income to moderate income, the second topic, will not qualify. So, yes, you're right. For the last 20 years, every time I do a development, I got the moderate income groups.
Mm-hmm.
Keep saying, Carl, between me and my wife, we earn $60,000-$70,000 combined income. Unfortunately, every time I try to apply for your housing, you guys have incomes targeted for the $30,000 and below.
They make too much money to be major beneficiaries of any grant funding, but not enough money to satisfy the demands of the bank.
Yeah, and then just the last 2 weeks, you've seen the aggressive developers coming to Guam, like the one in Jigo, saying now they want to sell homes when they finish at $350,000 to $400,000, and whatever the one in Jigo, the one they announced 116 homes.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's going to be, as they stated in the news. I'm only reporting with the news that they're going to try to sell in the market, which and if it's not absorbed 100%, they'll rent it to the military market. But again, maybe due to the cost of their civil costs and cost of construction and the rate of return of investment they want back, that's their targeted market.
Well, I mean, that's the model, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're capitalists, and that's what happened. Somebody sells them land, and that's what they want to do with the land, so let them do it. You've got other developments that are in various phases. The big apartment buildings or the condos that are going up behind Jonestown. Real nice places, but they ain't gonna be going for $100,000, $150,000.
Yeah. So when I ran into one evening, I told you that my goal and mission is always to look at solutions into barrier housing. So there is a federal program that would allow these moderate income families that earn up to $100,000, just to let you know.
Yeah.
So it could be from 60 to 100,000. That will give them that little edge. When I say the little edge is, for example, an average family. I did a presentation to the Guam Realtor Association, and I showed them how I shifted a family of buying power of 75,000 annual income that only had a 300,000 buying power, but the inventory out there is the 350s, 340s, sometimes 400, and they just are outpriced. Well, I took that family with this new federal program, which I'll be announcing in 60 days, and I apologize, I don't want to say it over the air.
No, it's okay.
It provides them now the additional buying power to shift their buying power from 300 to 350 with the same income.
Okay.
Now
that's so in 60 days. So we're talking about early December, huh?
Oh wait, what's it now? August 7th. Well,
look at that. Then is already the 20th of September, right?
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, where I'm almost ready to go, and unfortunately, the program is sitting in Guam's books, earning dust, and nobody has used it. So I want to do it after the election because I don't want nobody to think that somebody dropped the ball.
No. We'll deal with it then, and so November 6th, and then sometime after that, you and I can get back in the studio and talk about it. But this is a real issue, and Neat's here on Facebook Live saying my daughter is in that group that makes too much money for the low income brackets and those benefits, yet not enough for the upper medium brackets. And there's another one that my friend Ismael is asking about or refers to. He says there's dozens of federal grants for veterans on housing, but they don't apply to Guam. Number one, why? And number two, what should Governor Eddie Jerome Calvo do about that?
Well, there's so many financial tools. So under the Veterans Program, there are two resources.
Why would they not apply to? Why would they? But that doesn't make any sense. Why would they not apply to Guam? It's not like going to a VA hospital or something like that.
Ray, I don't know the dynamics on the VA. All I know is there are banks right now offering VA loan programs, but when the guy talked about grants, I'm assuming he's talking about grants that's done rehabilitation to their existing homes.
Could be, yeah.
I'm assuming that's what they're looking for. But man, I wish there's like a lot of other people that is passionate like me that will look at other programs. But maybe that'll be another endeavor down the road for the VA program. But I will be looking at the moderate income group, the guys that are making too much for the subsidized housing,
right,
and making too little for market housing.
Well, when you've got that information, when you're ready to release it, let me know, and then obviously I'll get you in the studio and see what it's going to take to get people lined up into those programs. Because, as I said, the situation is not getting any better, and in fact, it's getting worse. The plight of the folks that are stuck at the Estumbo gym because they got no place else to go, and even if they did, they probably can't afford it. Having issues finding housing even before the typhoon, and the situation just keeps getting worse.
Well, I want to add to that because I called in. Chris Duenas asked me about that, and if you call some of your realtor friends, and maybe this is where you can confirm that. I understand that not these particular families, but there are existing families who's receiving vouchers from HUD, from GURA.
Yeah.
These guys go out to the market. They got a voucher. They have a timeline of 60 days to find a unit. They cannot find a unit that's acceptable by the landlord and tenant. So they have to go back and return these vouchers or probably get an extension. So you're right. The inventory, even for that side of the equation, is lacking.
Isn't that amazing? So somebody walks in and they've got the cash to back it up, but there's no availability.
Yeah, because, again, this is some of my realtor friends are telling me, and I saw two cases where they can't find the unit, and unfortunately, they're given a timeline at GURA says, if you can't find it, we'll either give you an extension or return it, and it goes to the next person in line. But maybe you can call Mike Duenas or someone to confirm that. If that's the case, then there is also a situation and impact on that segment of the housing market.
Yeah, well, trust me, there is, and I don't know that I need to make a phone call. I don't have the time to make a phone call to Mike. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But I know that these guys are hurting for certain as well, because every time you see an apartment building get converted, that's less inventory for Gura, and they had announced just before the typhoon that they were going to reopen the waiting list line that my recollection is several thousand deep already.
That's correct. You're correct. But Ray, when I'm, maybe from this talk show, maybe someone will announce what I'm going to announce, because we never hold these programs exclusive. It's just that whoever goes out.
So let me do it here. My email is raygibsonshow@gmail.com. And send me your information. Send me what you might be able to get public, and what people need to ask for and where they need to go.
I sure will, Ray.
Okay, buddy. I appreciate it. Carlos, thanks for taking the call. My friend, you've always been answering the phone when I call when I got questions about housing and opportunities that exist. So let me just make the offer clear. When it's time for you to talk more about other opportunities for folks in low and moderate income levels, and especially where it comes to housing, I want you to be here in my new radio studio, okay?
Yes, sir. You got it. Thank you.
Right. Okay, amigo. I'll see you out there pretty soon. Closing in on 10 o'clock. A great way to end the program. There is hope, ladies and gentlemen. It might not be a whole lot of hope. There's not going to be new construction for affordable homes on Guam, I don't think, in the near term. It just costs too much bloody money to build a house these days. And if that's the case, then obviously you're going to look for selling it for a lot more than it costs to build. And right now the numbers seem to be going north of $300,000. The days back in I remember back in the 70s and the early 80s where you could find a fixer-upper for $100,000 have all but gone. Wow. Interested in program, got a lot of folks who would be interested. Yes, Sharon. We'll talk about it when we get a chance. The radio station is KUSG Hagutnya. Coming up, Fox News Live, right-wing bomb throwers on the other side of that, and the amazing and incredible Bob Klitsky program starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thanks for sticking around as long as you did. I had a good time doing the program today. I think we're going to have a crazy time doing the show tomorrow because it's Friday. You have a fantastic Thursday. Catch you tomorrow.
Is on the way. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. That was the promise from President Trump as he got a first-hand look at the devastation from Hurricane Florence.
Trump told the Carolinas that assistance is coming.
Our entire American family is with you and ready to help.
He stopped first in North Carolina to survey damage and relief efforts. Governor Roy Cooper says he talked housing and roads with the president, and also
the needs of the agricultural community and the needs of the farmers. We have entire farms underwater.
Then on to South Carolina, where the president promised that state's governor, Henry McMaster, help in rebuilding from the flooding to come. Both North and South Carolina have disaster declarations from the White House.
Fox's Gernal Scott, at least 37 people have been confirmed dead in the storm. The chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, is still waiting to hear if Christine Blasey Ford, the woman who accuses Judge Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct, will appear at a hearing Monday.
My focus is doing everything that